Alright, ladies and gentlemen, 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 welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 21. Let's see, here we have Chyado Sensei, we have Razy, Vanguard of Valor. Do sit back, enjoy the show, and we will probably be bantering until we get started. But other than that, yeah, okay. You can talk now. Or you can tell me to shut up, either one.
I'm so nervous.
But yeah, no, seriously, feel free to like mod however you see fit if you don't like something, because you know. What's up, Dark Cobra? And I should probably go to the Twitters. I should probably tweet out my own stream.
I'm too lazy. I'm just gonna retweet everybody's tweet.
I hear you, man. No, I almost wonder if people get really annoyed that I do like a countdown on Twitter or whatever.
That's what I was waiting for. Was just sitting on the tweet deck. Like, oh,
I did refresh it over again.
Should be here any second.
Yeah, here it comes.
I'm getting there, man. Back off! Don't pressure me.
Maybe I can just copy and paste it, make it seem like I actually put effort into it.
You son of a bitch. Oh, god damn it. Let's see.
By the way, welcome to the classroom, everybody.
How are you doing? How are you doing? Mathosis? Mathosis? I hope I'm saying that right. Let's see. By the way, if anybody could tell me, how does my microphone sound? I adjust some noise gates level. Welp, everything is crashing. Oh, shit. Poor Vanguard. Rip Vanguard.
You sound good, by the way, just to let you know.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I just did noise gate levels on OBS, so I'm like, not sure. I'm scrubbed,
dude,
is what I'm saying.
I'm still learning the ropes. Like, I haven't even been streaming for like 8 months yet, and I'm still trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing half the time with the software.
Well, it doesn't help that it updates every 2 seconds, annoyingly.
Right, yeah, exactly. Oh, I hope you don't hear that.
I barely
hear it. That is the delivery truck that goes around my neighborhood every day, and it plays this old-fashioned Japanese song. And all the grandmas and stuff will come outside now and start like talking around it like a bunch of chickens for like an hour. Hopefully they don't hear that.
God. That sounds fun.
It's nice though, because sometimes they'll get here like at 8 in the morning, and I hear them going like outside my window and everything. Because walls are thin here in Japan. Like they do that for the resistance of earthquakes and stuff, so you can hear stuff outside pretty well sometimes.
Huh, crazy. I just realized I forgot to change my... Oh, shit. No, okay. Okay. Updated my alert. Apparently that was off. How long's that been off? Has it been off for like a week? What? I'm such a scrub. Oh, I had no idea my notifications were off for like my gameplay streams or whatever. God damn it. I'm so pro. I'm so pro. Thank you, Mathosis. Thank you for dropping the follow.
Like, I didn't get into like PC streaming until 2 months ago, so it's all a learning curve, I guess you could say. You having a mistake makes me feel better about myself, because I don't know what's going on half the time.
Well, nobody's perfect. Even as you practice, you still have to learn how it works.
Right.
Let's see.
I feel so special because I get to see my name finally on Jesse's channel now. Like I remember, because I actually watched all your. Believe it or not, I mean, you're gonna think I'm like a total sap, but like I watched every single podcast, by the way, up until this moment, because I wanted to know how to prepare myself for this. And,
what you're getting into?
Yeah, exactly right. So I want to know
Dedication
if I need to
right there.
leave meeting or not. So I was watching it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have my name right there. It's so cool.
I really wish you wouldn't like I would have skipped like half of them, honestly.
Well, I can definitely
like
though.
I'm not gonna lie.
Actually, from episode 10 and on, you improved greatly. By the way.
And we're gonna bring it to a new low.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
Wow.
Dude, we're bringing the bar
GG.
up to a maximum of 2%.
Maximum of 2%. Let's see. What's up, that mustachio? How you doing? What's up, Doc J Lad?
Oh my gosh, pistachio.
Let's see. Yeah, this podcast
Dude,
is awesome.
Mustachio is the first person I ever saw on Twitch. He is actually the first person I ever saw, and that was 2 years ago. Way before I even got into Twitch and stuff like that. I wanted to see what Twitch was and everything. And his channel, or was it 2 years? I don't know. It was last year. Sorry, it was 2015, right? I saw it last year in May, I think. I saw his channel, and it was like being, like it was like on the right side. I could click on it, and I was just like, "Oh, this guy's really cool. Like he's all popular. He's got people talking to him." I was like, what if I can be that cool?" Like it's just crazy to like actually have all this like time and stuff go around, and like now I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of weird.
You're fewer degrees of separation away than once you were.
Exactly right.
Let's see. Alright, what's up, Sammy? And what's up, Allison? What's up, Darkness Monster? Guys, welcome to the Real Talk Podcast. Do sit back. Autocorrect. Your autocorrect is auto wrong. I don't know. Just roll with it. May I have a cookie? I'm not going to stop you from having a cookie. I'm driving. Dude, focus on the damn road.
You're driving and writing in
Mustachio's
chat.
gonna die, Gary. Oh my god.
Rip Mustachio.
And before Mustachio has a car accident and can't twitch. Can't go on.
Brad's bringing in the
Jeez.
cuteness level of the stream right now. Maximum kawaii overload.
Desu.
You know what? You know what's funny is that we can't see him right now, so they think you're talking about Razy
well,
himself.
Maybe I am. We don't know.
Yeah. No other
Yeah.
reason you would say that.
So, Raz, you do anything after the podcast, or?
God.
No, my
Wow.
weird joke that they just come
You
from Stella.
guys.
So
Very photogenic.
Oh, right.
and she always looks away.
Camera shy.
At first, I was always afraid of doing streams with a camera because I thought someone would be like, "I'm gonna find you," and I was always like, kind of thinking something like that would happen. Oh, sorry. That's just to make sure I don't miss a podcast.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't want to look at myself every day. Have to see my own face on the stream.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start and kick off. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 21. My name is Jesse, I'm your host for the evening, and also my green screen is being scrubbed, don't mind that right there. But anyways, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. And I hope you do enjoy and sit back and relax. Just so you know, the breakdown of the Real Talk Podcast is very simple. I have me and 3 other guests. I have Chyado Sensei, I have Razy, and Vanguard of Valor. Apparently my microphone is out of sync because I am scrubbed. God damn it. Let's try this again. Yeah, my newscaster background. How do I say? Okay, so basically, we have 3 guests with us: Razy, VanguardOfValor, and Chyado Sensei. And basically, how it goes is that we all each have our topics that we want to talk about. Each of us doesn't know each other's topics, and it is all, you know, about Twitch, the social inner workings of Twitch, and how we handle situations and how we deal with things, and basically that's about it. It's about our social interactions on Twitch and networking and things like that. Let's see. Aside from that, let's kick off with introducing our guest. I will start with Mr. VanguardOfValor. Tell us what, who you are, what you're about, what you've been doing, what you've been up to. Give us a breakdown on who you are as a caster, who you are as a person, what you do for a channel.
Okay, well, I'm VanguardOfValor. What a surprise! I started out primarily doing YouTube, and I've been doing YouTube for over 3 years now. That's where I initially started. So I do a lot of the stuff that I do is on YouTube. Mostly just playing games and having a good time. And then recently I discovered that Twitch was a thing and decided to get involved with that. So I've started up doing Twitch streams. I only do 3 streams a week, so I'm nowhere near as hardcore as some people. My streams are only 3 hours long, so they're not the biggest, but they're a lot of fun. I like doing them. We stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and have a good time. Mostly the games that I play are games that are strategic in some way, or games where I can sort of help people figure out how to be better at them. Occasionally I play games just for fun, though, so it happens.
Alright.
That's a quick rundown, though.
Sweet. Alright, and next up we have Chyado Sensei. Can you tell us what your channel's about, what you've been doing, what you've been up to, and give us a whole breakdown. And guys, in chat, if you could show some love for VanguardOfValor, and then as well as Chyado Sensei. I'm sorry I didn't actually say that. My bad, don't kill me. But if you could show some love for our guests as they appear on the screen for you.
Alright. Well, first of all, welcome students. I'm Chyado Sensei. I'm sort of like a variety streamer here in Japan. I actually didn't start doing Twitch until late or mid last year, so I'm still kind of a fresh out of the box kind of streamer. So I'm learning as I go. I actually originally started off on PlayStation 4, and I kind of built my way up from there and got a PC and moved on to that point. But I just really enjoy playing games out here in Japan that are kind of like early release and showing off what kind of games are coming out to other countries within a certain amount of months or even a year or so. So it's a lot of fun to, for me, as a streamer, using my ability as a bilingualist to use my abilities to take materials that are here in Japan and kind of show everyone back home, like, oh, check out this game that's coming out. You know, I can tell you the story. I can, you know, tell you what's going on. So it's a lot of fun to like have that ability to show and, you know, share things about Japan as well at the same time. But yeah, that's what my classroom is teaching and learning and having fun.
And you get to be ahead of the curve too, because you get a lot of stuff before the rest of us do, which is awesome.
Exactly.
In other words, he's cheating.
He's just playing the game, man. He's just playing the game.
You do the same. You do the same.
Look, this isn't about me. It's about what you are doing. No, I'm kidding. Of course I do the same. Hell yeah. Let's see. But not last but not least, we have Razy. Razy, if you could tell us what your channel's about, what you've been up to, what you've been doing, and who are you as a person, as a caster, and give us a breakdown. And ladies and gentlemen of the chat, you know what to do. If you could drop some hearts for Mr. Razy, that would be greatly appreciated. Show some love for our guest.
Hey guys, I'm Razy. I guess I'm just your average variety caster. I play a lot of RPGs. I play a lot of Resident Evil, and that's actually what really got me started into doing things. And then I was like, oh, I really like Final Fantasy. Let's play all the Final Fantasies. And then ever since I started playing Final Fantasy, I've been streaming every day since February of last year. So we're like 400 and some days deep. And I've been going on a lot of it alone. So it's been a lot slower build than I think I could have done. But I like keeping a tight network of good people.
Word. All right. And what animal is he holding, Allison? That is a dog.
This is Stella. She's why most people say they come to my channel. They come for the games. They stay for the Stella. So.
They got their priorities straight.
There you go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's just go ahead and start moving into the topics. Let's see. My topic for the evening, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. For those of you, I don't know if anybody's been watching my channel or anything, but I'm currently going through a big change of my channel, a big change on how I want to run my cast, a big change on how I want to, organize my community and whatnot. And my topic's just going to be very simple. Is like, what changes have you guys made to your cast? Or because I know you guys have been casting for almost a year at least. Or we'll start off with actually how long you guys been casting for exactly before we get into this. Chad, you said about 8 months, right?
Right. So basically, I mean, I started in late July. I actually started July 30th. I remember the exact day I started. And the reason why I got into it is because my buddy of mine here in Japan, he lives in Kobe. He's like, oh, you should try streaming with a PS4. I'm like, no one's gonna watch me. I'm a loser. And he's like, no, just give it a try. There's like no one like you. I mean, there's not a lot of like people who stream in Japan and people who, do the correct deal. Why not give it a shot? And I was like, I don't know. They're probably gonna like fall asleep watching me. So I gave it a shot, and here we are, pretty much like the beginning of May, and things are actually looking pretty promising. So that's kind of like how it all went down. It was kind of shocking to say the least, but I mean, I'd never expected the PS4 to actually be a milestone for me. It was a really rough patch too, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but transitioning from a console to PC streaming is actually incredibly difficult because your viewer cast is going to be really solely based on that one system. And when you actually move on to PC, they're not going to see you on the software that they use to watch you to begin with. So I would say a large chunk of my community, my students, they can't see me anymore, or they have a hard time because it's not through this Twitch software that they would use on the PS4. So.
Gotcha.
Anyway, but yeah, it's a very interesting transition to say the least through that time frame as well,
So basically, just changing for the PS4 and changing to PC gaming was like the biggest change you've had in the community, and they weren't able to see you. Damn, that's
exactly. Yeah, imagine like going if you've already got an Xbox One or something. You're like, I'm gonna start using this now to stream because PC streaming is really taxing, or my computer like exploded or whatever.
Yeah.
And then start using it. People are like, I'm just saying it for an example. And they're like, for whatever reason, people are like on PC are like, oh, I can't watch your stream because I hate consoles for some reason. And so you lost like more than 50% of your community because you transferred over to something that they're not familiar with or they don't really understand.
Yeah.
So I actually had to this actually happened. I was streaming. I finally got OBS running. I was streaming my first time, and I was like pumping out like at least 800 to 1,000 plus viewers almost every stream, and I went down to 12, and I was like,
Jesus,
did I hit the stream button? What the crap is happening? And I realized my community of all the PS4 viewers refuse and or don't know how to move on from that transition. So I had to individually mail every single person hey, FYI, I'm not using the PS4 streaming service anymore. You gotta use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to check me out, or even use the web browser on the PS4. You can actually use it or even Xbox people as well. They can use their web browser to watch stuff on Twitch. And I was like, use that if you want to check me out or whatever. And they're just like, a lot of people mailing back they're like, oh, you stopped streaming forever? Well, sayonara, sensei. I'm just like, no, I'm transferring over to PC. I'm not dead or anything. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I'll never see you again. So
yeah, a lot of people don't take
Rip
exactly.
Chyado. Rip Chyado.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, Razy, so like, where did you like, how did you first start casting, and then like you transition? Like, what are some big changes you've had to make? You know, or maybe even little changes that have stacked up and guided to a bigger picture or anything like that. I'm just kind of curious and whatnot.
Well, I actually started streaming probably about 3 years ago, but it was on a different account when I was still playing World of Warcraft, because our guild then wanted video recordings of the raids, and so I would be in the raid and stream that. And I got some people that were interested in WoW, and then when we weren't playing WoW, I played like Dark Souls and like Fallout 3, and I got quite a few people for somebody that had no followers. You know, when I wasn't playing WoW and I was playing other games, I was like, wow, 20, 30, 40 people show up. And back then, even now, that's, a decent number if you're starting out. But that was on a different account called Razykin, because I didn't know that I had Razy, because back when JTV came around, I signed up for it a long time ago, but I didn't know that Twitch and JTV were the same thing. So once I figured out I had this name still, and I came back, because I took a year break when I got Stella, because having a little puppy and trying to stream, like playing video games in general, I quit raiding. I couldn't even play like a full game of League of Legends sometimes, because she would just be like, oh, I need to go outside or something. So I really cut back on my gaming for a year. But when I came back, because an old viewer was like, when are you going to stream? When are you going to stream? When are you going to stream? And he bugged me and bugged me and bugged me. And he's like, I'll buy you a game if you stream it. And I'm like, fine, I'll do it. I'll just see if anybody actually cares. And so I came back on this account, and I was like, okay, I want to try to do a Dark Souls Soul Level 1 challenge. And I came back and nobody watched it. I was like, what the hell? I had all these people show up when I was just playing it the first time. Where are all the people? And then I played some indie game, and I was like, still nobody gives a shit about it. But I was like, okay, well then I'm just going to play whatever I want to play. And one night I was playing Resident Evil, and they're like, you going to play the other ones? I'm like, oh, sure. I never played Resident Evil 3. So by the time I got to Resident Evil 3, this guy shows up, and he's the community leader for like the Resident Evil 2 remake. He sends out a tweet, and all of a sudden I have 150 people in my channel. I'm just like, I didn't even have 150 followers at that point on this channel. And that's kind of what I was like, wow, I could actually do this. I could like, people actually care about me.
So that's when you just basically started like playing whatever you wanted rather than playing, whatever your viewers wanted, or
what you thought would bring in the most people.
Yeah.
I've tried to play games that, like, I think people would like, or like I know how to get viewers. If you want to play the same game every day all the time, yeah, you'll get viewers, but you're not going to get the right people. You're not going to get the people that actually care about you and will watch you play anything,
Interesting. Yeah, because I know there's a lot of people who like talk about like the growth of a channel. Like you can, basically you can play the same game in and out. And the way somebody described it to me, actually before on the podcast, was that he was like, you get people who are dedicated to that game, and then once you stop playing that game, it's a different story.
Right.
So
even people like dedicated to a series, it's like I did Resident Evil, and then I was doing like 20, 30 people a night when it's just like retro games, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play Binding of Isaac, and then like 5 people show up.
Yeah.
What just happened here? And so it took probably like 6 months of just trying things and seeing what naturally worked until I finally kind of, even today, I still analyze. I go back and see like what worked, what didn't, what do my people like, and what communities are good, really.
So
There's a lot of communities on Twitch that are toxic that you just don't want to touch those games.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I've tried playing GTA, but I have a question. Like, you've had such a weird, like, you've changed your username and then you like came back to it, and so does anybody still back from the old days still hang out, or is it all completely new community, all completely new people, and, or just in general, it's kind of like that. I guess exactly what I wanted to say. I don't know why I said in general.
I only had maybe like 10 to 15 people when I had the other channel that would like go from game to game, and I only really streamed non-WoW games for about 6 months on and off, and then I don't know, I felt like pressure, like everybody's like, "Oh, play these games." I'm like, I don't want to play these games, but I'm gonna do it anyways because that's what you want. And then eventually I don't know, I was depressed at the time too, and I wasn't in a good place, and I just like, fuck it, I'm done, and I didn't stream, for a year after I got my dog. It happened at the same time, but it was just like I felt too pressured to give the people exactly what they want.
Chyado, you're raising your hand like you're a student.
Yes.
I thought you were a sensei.
Okay. Well, you are the host, so you're the sensei this time. But I just wanted to say how Razy, I mean, he nailed it on the head. There's these people here who refuse to sort of like, they come for the game, but some people only stay for the streamer, you know what I mean? And that's sort of like, in some ways, somewhat demoralizing, because you have this like good thing going. You're thinking, hey, I think people here because they enjoy, myself as a caster, and you like have that kind of momentum going. And the second you have like all that courage built up and all that, feeling there, you want to like move on to something else, and then you like, he, like you said, you tried Isaac, and it's like him only pumping out a couple of viewers in comparison to when he was playing another game and being pressurized to doing other games. And I can totally relate that, because the way my channel exploded was I was playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and my channel exploded because of that. And I got to a point where, I mean, I got the game like 3 weeks before anyone else, so I was playing it way before anyone could ever like even get their hands on it. And when I beat the game like in under like 4 or 5 days, and I was done with it at that point. I was like, there's no reason for me to play this anymore, but I'm getting so many gosh darn views. Like why would I want to stop that? And I got to the point where I was like telling the like community, like, hey guys, you only play this game so much before you play this game so much, and you want to move on and play other things and not like want to put your head through a brick wall. So that moment when you would change to a different game, people freak out, and it's almost terrifying, because they're like, we thought you loved us, and you're like, it's kind of like afraid. It's terrifying to like almost move on to a different game because of that. And I now understand why so many people play League of Legends every stinking friggin' day, because they know as long as they keep doing what they're doing, they're gonna keep getting what they're getting. And I pity those people, because they can't play anything else.
It's very hard to predict. Oh my goodness, my voice. It's very hard to predict what people will do when you move to a different game. Like, you might think, oh, my stream loves games like this, I'll just play this and everyone's gonna come. And then you play it and like you've seen, nobody comes. Or maybe it'll work that time and lots of people will come in. Oh, that was a great success, this one's like it too, we'll try that. And then nobody comes to that one. It's just hard to tell, really. Sometimes people just aren't into certain things. And some games, like the really high profile ones like Binding of Isaac, a lot of people have the people they watch already. So if you're playing Binding of Isaac, they might come and watch you, but if they want to watch Binding of Isaac, they might just go watch their Binding of Isaac person. Like, I found that was a thing, especially whenever there's a big new game that comes out, within the first couple days, the people who are at the top of the charts are up there by like a pretty hefty margin, because people go to them to watch that game when it's new. More than they would go to other random people who are streaming it, who they might watch all the time for other things. But when it's that new, like, big deal, I find that happens a lot. It just makes it harder to predict what people are going to do with it.
I feel like people, when they're looking for a new game, they're just looking for the game. They really don't care who the caster is. They go, first one, there we go, bam. And then they just stay there. And if they don't like them, then they'll go to the next one, and they just go down the line until they find somebody they like. Except if you're looking for the game, you just want to see if it's fun or not. You don't care.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see. How was anybody like? Say you've got your cast, like, or you got your games lined up. Like, okay, let me tell you a whole long-winded story and let you show you where this is going. For me, at least. Let me talk about like how my channel's changed over the year I've been casting. It hasn't necessarily been the games. I've been playing the same old game, you know, retro games to indie games to whatever I want, mind you. But the way I've conducted my channel and the way I've handled my channel has changed dramatically. Like, you know, there was one point when I first started on Twitch, I had no idea what it was about. I conducted it with no rules, and well, you can imagine where that goes and what kind of toxic community that was. I eventually had to break down and tell my chat, like, on a webcam base, and give them, like, I literally cut on the cast. It was just me, webcam, and a set of rules, like, hey, you're gonna, like, either you're with me or you're against me, or, you know, and, you know, the loyal viewers did stay, and then the ones who were toxic eventually left and got out of there. And then on top of that, there's like, you know, I went through this whole another phase. Like, I used to have the slogan of Team Not Jesse, where it was kind of like, you know, people egg me on. It was kind of like our ongoing joke, and then I feel like it's gotten to the point where I felt like I was kind of encouraging the viewer. And, like, mind you, I kind of was. I mean, because I can take a joke and whatever. People can egg me on. And I kind of suck at video games anyways. It's kind of true. But, you know, realistically, is that, like, I feel like I was encouraging the viewers to kind of, like, somewhat troll me in a kind of like a, let's say, a gimmick of sorts. And now I'm just trying to get away from that because, like, I feel like it's conveyed the wrong message, and especially with new viewers coming in and not understanding, you know, where the line is and how to stop it and whatnot. But, like, you know, so I'm going for like a more positive vibe. I'm going for, you know, more relaxed stream and whatnot. And you know, I'm just wondering, is there any way, like, in shape or form, like, how you conduct your stream, and that, you know, like, because right now I got, like, regular viewers who may not be on the same page as I'm going on, and then, you know, it might be something I have to, you know, might have to make some cuts in the community again, and, you know, kind of guide it towards a more positive thing. So, if anything, I'm asking for advice. Let's look at it that way. No, but, like, how have you guys handled, like, your communities, or have you had any issues with regular viewers becoming, like, how do I say, being pain in the asses or anything? Because that's another thing I'm not big on as well, is that, you know, just because somebody's a regular viewer doesn't mean you get away with more, you know? So, I don't know if you guys have had that issue or anything like that.
I'm gonna let Razy and Vanguard handle that, because I also need some advice for that as well.
I've definitely had that problem. We actually... Most people end up knowing the guy by name that kind of set the standard, because he was there, like, every day. He was kind of a little bit trolly, but it just got to be too much. We got to a game that he really didn't like, and he just did not stop. It was constantly, every 5 to 10 minutes, why don't you play a different game? I hate this game. Do something else. And so, like, eventually I timed him out, and then he turned on me. He started, you know, cussing me out.
Gosh.
You know, he turned into a toxic troll. And over the past, like, year, he has still come back over and over again. When everybody started to get follower alerts, he started trolling my follower alert, and he would unfollow, refollow. He would do that, like, he knew the timing on it so that he could do it as often as possible.
Oh my
He would
God.
still be watching the stream. He couldn't talk, but he would keep doing that. He would, because he knew if he got on another account and outed himself, he would be banned instantly. Eventually, he came back on another account, was a decent guy, and then I said something about his old account, and he was like, he said something that was fishy. We found out it was him, and he got banned again. And, like, I did a mass unbanning. He can't... I think that's what it was. I said that I unbanned because Nightbot likes to just ban random bots. And so I had, like, a huge ban list, and I just wanted to clean it out because, you know, people you ban typically don't come back.
Yeah.
But I undid it, and he came back. He was like, "Oh, I can log on that account." He logged on it. It's like, you piece of shit.
That grudge was burning deep the whole time.
Wow.
Just go away, you know?
Dude. My God. Is it bad that I'm slightly impressed by his trolling ability?
His determination, at the very least.
But I started out being really nice, just like Jesse has said before. You know, it's like I was like, I don't want rules. I want to everybody to have fun. You know, a little bit of trolling is fine, but when you're streaming every day, like every single day, and if I have to deal with the same crap every day, like, I just can't do it anymore. If people start trolling me, I just ban them.
Yeah.
Like, from my perspective, when I started streaming, I already had like an idea of how I wanted my YouTube community to work, because I replied to basically like 90% of the comments that I got, but specifically the ones who had the kind of atmosphere that I was trying to keep. Right, so people who made positive or constructive or entertaining comments, I would like happily reply and give something, you know, say something back. But if it was something that was like aggressive or, you know, rude, I would generally either ignore those, or if they were like sufficiently mean, I would take them out completely. So I was trying to cultivate that like culture of positivity and, you know, internal respect as much as I could. So when I started streaming, I already knew what I kind of wanted to do to keep my community in a way that I'd be happy with how it worked. And a lot of the people who came into my stream were totally fine with that. I had my basic rules are just like treat the streamer and the chat with respect. And if you can do that, then you're probably doing it in a way that'll work out just fine. Now, obviously, sometimes people have a hard time with like specific situations and whatnot, but generally it works out okay. But when people start saying things I'm not a big fan of in the chat, I'll generally call them out on it at least once and be like, hey, that's not cool. So if they're not going to take that hint, that's the point where they can start getting timed out. And if they're going to still not take the hint, that's the point when they can go watch somebody else. And it's not that I'm not willing to let them stay in the chat. There's a certain kind of toxicity that you don't need. And if I find generally that making it clear that like, sorry, that's not okay. Generally, the person is either like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to, you know, be a bother. Or they're like, oh yeah, you're not the boss of me. And it's like, okay, bye. Good on you. Thanks for making this easy. But like, I find that generally works pretty well. And I find that I'm really happy with the community in my chat. There's a lot of really positive people, really friendly people. And it's just a good time for the most part. Occasionally you get people who come in trying to stir up trouble, but that's very, very occasional. So I find that works out pretty well.
So with you, it was really easy because you had like the YouTube following to already, you know, tell your community what's up, and then it kind of just easily transferred over. Like
yeah, kind of. I have a feeling that the reason, well, that's the thing. I know a bunch of people that I've got here on Twitch now. Many of them undoubtedly followed me from YouTube. That's definitely like the kickstart to my Twitch streaming that really made it a lot easier for me. But there's a lot of new people who come in who may never have seen me on YouTube. And I find it works just as well, possibly because I have that existing community who kind of knows the deal, so that when people come in and are doing things, the chat itself can also like be like, hey, come on, man, that's not how we do things here. So I find that probably helps a lot. But it's not like it's just because I knew what I wanted for YouTube. I think it's a combination of the fact that I had that like plan for how I wanted it to work out. I had done things like moderation before. I was a moderator on Congregate, and I owned a chat room there for like 3 years or something before I realized that I should do YouTube, because I thought that'd be fun. So I already had like experience with how I liked moderating, so I kind of took that and applied it to Twitch. So like it's a whole bunch of things, I think, that made it so that I already knew the kind of environment I wanted to maintain, and it made it a little bit easier to keep it that way because I had the community from YouTube who already knew how it worked. it's kind of like all of those things together made it a lot easier to do.
Gotcha. So let's see. I guess the last question I gotta ask, and I gotta be honest with. Oh, sure, go for it.
I'm sorry. It's just that, you know, you guys have, I mean, I really envy a lot of people's communities and stuff, because you guys have it, I mean, I'm not trying to say, like, I have it so hard, but you guys have it so easy because you're, like, back home, you know, you got these people who are, you know, these are, like, on level with you on, like, likes and dislikes and what your, you know, like, humor is and stuff like that. But for me, I have to deal with a group of people that I either despise or that I'm really like all about, because as a person who's in Japan, I get a lot of people who are really into anime, like really into anime, and it's so difficult for me to go, like, yeah, you know, that blah blah, like Super Senpai, you know, Notice Me Kun, that's such a great show, isn't it? Like, I can't do that.
Is that even a show?
No, it's not. I hope it's not.
I hope so too.
I don't know. Could be pretty entertaining. Sounds like a real strong parody.
God damn it. Vanguard, please.
But I get these people who come in and they expect me, because I'm a guy who's in Japan, they assume immediately, like, hey, this dude is all about anime and manga and stuff like that. And honestly, I haven't read a single manga until I was like 24, and I'm 25 now. And they like have all these assumptions just because I'm this dude in Japan. So they're like, oh, did you catch the most recent episode of Attack on Titan? It's like the best, like, anime ever. And they start like making references to like the whole anime. And I'm just like, you know, can you shut your gosh darn mouth? I'm trying to like have a good time here. Like, like, I'm sorry, but I don't know anything what you're talking about. And like they just go off on like how they love anime and like how, you know, they have this sort of like characteristic about them that's almost like revulsive. And I've tried so hard to like, you know, like, hey, we're having a good time, you know, I'm trying my best to like ease into it, but at the same time it's like, are you trying to be annoying, or is that just how you are, you know? And then then I have these people who are like, oh my gosh, like, this guy is like, you know, he speaks bilingual in Japan, ching chong ching, what's up, dude? I'm just like, yeah, don't do that. And they're like, oh, what's your problem, dude? Give me a spring roll. And I'm like, you know, I can understand if you want to be funny, you know, like you're just trying to like break the ice and like have me like interact with you. So you laughing now because this is like your first time hearing this, but I get this crap every day. And
of course I'm laughing now. Not even gonna hide it.
It's so hard because like I grew up in an Asian community. My friends are all Asian. I have, like, this sounds weird to say, but like I don't know what it's like to have white friends. That's how different my life is compared to what many people, because growing up in Hawaii, like most of the American population of Asians is in Hawaii. So my teachers, my boss, my friends, everyone I dealt with was Asian. And I didn't know what it was like to, like, I know it sounds weird to say, but like, I'm like, what's it like to have white friends? Do we eat crackers and cheese every day? Like, what happens? But you know, like I grew up using chopsticks. I enjoy rice and stuff like that. And I went to Japan. I don't feel like any different than I did back in Hawaii, except for the fact that everyone stares at me like I'm some kind of alien. But you know,
I don't think the chat thing is unique to you though, because my chat will go off on like anime topics, and I have no interest whatsoever. I just kind of like let them go at it and pay attention to the game, honestly.
That's the thing, right? You're in an online environment where people who like those kinds of things are more likely to be. It just so happens that I don't mind anime, so people bring up anime topics, I can chat about it for a little bit and then move on, and generally the chat moves on as well. I think you in particular, Chyado, have the issue of, since you are like the Japanese English stream, people who are into that thing may be slightly more likely to gravitate to you, so the conversation comes up more often. And that would definitely be something that's hard to deal with, because the new people come in and they want to talk about it because they think they found somebody who might be interested in talking about it with them. But you've already like dealt with people trying to talk to you about anime you don't care about for like, you know, the last hour and a half. So like you might just have to establish a policy where it's like you let people know, hey guys, I'm not into anime. It's cool that you like it and that's great, but
shut up
about this. Right? Like just change the topic on them. Be like, look, I know you really want to share this, but how about that Yankees game? Or
right,
whatever.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. it's so hard to nail. And like you have like, it's just like when you work. I used to work at Coffee Bean Tea Leaf for like almost 3+ years. I was a barista, and you know, you got to put that smile on every day and be like, hey, how's your day going? Even though like in the back of like, oh, I just can't wait for this guy to leave the shop, you know. But we get these people come in here. I always want to have like the most positive attitude. I want to be like, hey, welcome to the classroom. I'm your sensei, because that's what I kind of am, you know. And I want to like portray that I'm interested in your likes and dislikes as well, but also like, hey, this is my classroom. We play by my rules, you know. And I don't hate anime, you know. I like watch it every so often, but like,
well, you're not expressing like for it.
Well, I mean, like, it's like when I watch a movie. I like to watch a movie every so often. I like to jump in, like, oh man, I watched that. What is that? Other movie the other day. Was it? I saw Inception, and I was like, oh, that's a good movie. You know, I don't mind talking about that for a little bit. But I mean, like, doing that every single stinking day on like every single solitary like genre of like anime or whatever, it can like be kind of taxing. And it's just like, I understand. Like, I do. I honestly, I enjoy anime. I mean, like, it's not bad at all. I don't despise it. I enjoy it. But like, it's being a person who actually enjoys Japan for its language and history and culture rather than its you know, anime and manga and everything. I'm like, you're at this like huge gap where it's like, hey, I enjoy Japan because of the actual stuff it's famous for, not because of the media features about it. And people who are, which is a huge community for that, obviously, they're like, hey, well, we love anime and we're going to instantly assume that you're into that too. So here we come. And then it's like all about like,
oh god,
I noticed me. Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? I saw Darkness Monster was saying maybe you might want to put that as a rule in chat. But anyways, the next, actually, the last thing I have for my topic is I'm going to ask you guys is, am I the only one who's at a toxic community? Like a legitimate, like, toxic community that I had to clean up or anything like that?
You built it into a toxic community, though, from the sounds of it. You're like, hey, let's just do this thing, and you let it fester.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, like, at first it was like the worst, and it was a really, like, I honestly, like, when I first got raided, like, okay, here's how my community started. I had no rules, and then I had like 5 people in chat a day. And then I got a raid by Spoonerism and Cryotic that had 1,000 people in my chat, and
wow.
No mods, and and then no rules, and then it just kind of it didn't go well.
And you were drunk.
And I was drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the building point of that community was pretty bad, to say the least. And then the whole I broke down and I, cleaned up the community from there, believe it or not. And then, now I'm going, no rules, no mods. And then, so basically I had 50 people, and then I modded people on the fly, and it was just a fucking mess until I got that cleaned up. And then, but then the whole Team Not Jesse thing, and like, it's not so much it's a toxic community now, it's just like, it's just getting old, and I don't want to encourage the trolling or anything like that, but that admittedly was my own fault. But at the same time, it was one of those things that I guess chat like just started saying it, and it became a thing, and then I kind of allowed it, and I kind of made it my own. But now I'm looking back at it, I'm like, God, you dumbass, you shouldn't have done that. But I'm just wondering if anybody's like had any problems like where they had to clean up or anything, like maybe drastically. Like I guess I'm going through my second cleansing of chats. I don't know.
That sounds exactly what I'm going through right now, because I'm afraid of getting rid of people that have been there from the start. It's so difficult to say, all this time since the beginning you've been there, but like I now see that you are not helping my stream or anything like that in a positive way, and it's so difficult for me to think like I need to like either A, ban this guy or girl, or I need to remove their mod powers. Like I'm actually contemplating on just getting rid of all mods in general, because it seems like I'm the one doing all the work, because it's like every time I have to rely on a mod, either A, they're not there, or B, they're just playing some other game and have me like on the side, so they don't know what's going on in chat. So it's difficult to like put your foot down, like especially for me, because I hate confrontation. I hate going up to someone's face and being like, you're an a-hole, and just get rid of them or something like that. It's so difficult for me to do that. I'd rather sidestep it and just keep moving on. but it seems like there is inevitability of a cleansing, as you say, and it's so hard to get out of that, I guess, the toxic community, you know, because you want to keep what you have, but at the same time, you can't grow your, you know, community if you have it stuck in the mud.
Well, Chyado, I'd suggest one of the things that sounds like to me is that you might want to just try giving moderator powers to different people in your chat that you trust. Because having good mods makes life so much easier. Because if you feel like you have to do everything, that's probably an indication that your mods might be good people and you might like them, but they're not fulfilling that role as moderator that you might need. So if you can get like a couple people who are around at different times, they don't have to be there every stream, right? But if they can be around, it makes life so much more manageable because they can get rid of those things before you have to deal with them. Because like I've never had to go like nuclear on my chat and just destroy people because there's all kinds of badness going on. But I do regularly have people who need to be, you know, removed for whatever reason. They're just like stirring up way too much trouble, and I can tell they're not whatever. But I'm also not afraid of, you know, silencing people who are regulars, but they need it. Like they're bringing up a topic that I'm just not okay with. They get a little silence, they come back and they go, "Oh, sorry, yeah, it was out of line." Or like on YouTube, I will totally remove comments that are just like gunning for blood. I will get rid of them because if they stay up, more people will start to build on them, and it's just not worth the trouble. So like, I think for help, having moderators that can do what you need will make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, I want to say that's been one of the problems I've been having lately, is that now that I'm going back to regular, consistent schedule, all the mods who said they were going to be there and they're either not there or they're lurking in chat and not paying attention to what I'm saying. I'm like, you know, even something as simple, because generally I want to say I can mod my own chat pretty well, given the size of my chat and whatnot, and then you know, even something as simple as permitting a link or asking for a caster command. I'm like, hey, you guys there? I think you guys are you still there? Oh no, you're lurking or playing a game. So I'm actually going through looking for new mods myself. I swear to God, don't ask for mod in chat. I will cut you.
Oh my gosh, it drives me nuts when that happens.
I will purge anybody who asks for mod in chat right now. Buck's not given today.
I find that you
damn you, Vanguard!
kind of want two types of mods. There's the people that are there, like always lurking, watching, ready to take care of problems. But you also kind of want mods that are they kind of direct chat in the way that you want it to go. You know, it's they spark conversation beyond like what you're doing. Say you're playing your game. They're there to talk to people and get things going, and they're kind of they're not like a second caster, but they're people that people want to come see every day as well. They're like pillars of your community.
Definitely,
in my opinion.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think another big thing to keep in mind though with moderators is that they have a role to play in your chat for sure, but you don't necessarily need to put a ton of pressure on them. Like, if they're upholding the chat standards that you're looking for, even if they're not necessarily the most talkative, then they're doing their job. If chat is moving and being active on its own, they don't need to be like, oh, I'm a moderator, so I have to always be talking about these different things. This has to happen, right? Because that, like, it's easy to burn out as a Twitch streamer, but it's also easy to burn out as a mod if you're being asked to do a lot of stuff and like you can't just relax and watch a stream and like just make sure that nothing's getting out of hand. It makes it a lot harder too. I'm a bad mod personally for the people who have decided to make me a mod, because I like to watch streams when I'm playing games. So I have the stream open and I have the game open and I'm like listening and watching, but I'm not super eagle-eyed. So I'm not a great mod because I don't necessarily catch things that happen in the chat right away.
It's definitely a skill for sure.
But basically what landed the argument was just that, like, but you don't need to have mods that are always talking, always keeping chat moving, always greeting everybody, because that's just a lot more pressure for them that they don't necessarily need, which would make it less fun to be in your stream. That's all.
I wasn't implying that. I tend to mod people that are like I said, like pillars of the community. They're people that are just naturally that way. It's not like I always tell my mods, it's not a job. You're just helping me out. You know, if you don't have to be here every day. It don't feel like it's a responsibility. You're just helping me out. It's another way to support me.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of thing that I think is important, because like I have mods who come up and say, "Hey, sorry, I haven't been able to make it for a while." I'm like, "Hey, I mean, it's your life,
Right?
Stream that you do for fun. Like, don't worry about it." But I know a lot of people who do put a lot of pressure on their mods, and I always feel like, it's gotta suck for them because they want to be there and be a part of the community, but it's gotta suck.
Mm-hmm.
Word. Alright, so I think that's enough about my topic. In fact, that went longer than I ever anticipated. But
Good topic.
let's see.
I was to add into that too.
Sure,
If you
go for it.
if you have a good community, you've already built up a good community. They tend to force the trolls out before you even have to do anything. You know, somebody comes up and says some trolly stuff, and you already got people on guard. Even if they're not mods, they're like, you know, don't be a dick, dude. Or, you know, if they start doing stuff like that, or even if they're like on the border, then your community will watch out for you without you having to take any action at all, just because they want to keep things positive and keep the bad people out.
Definitely. I mean, it's just one of those things I definitely got to figure out, and I'm like trying to play around with things now. You know, trying to rebrand, and you know, trying to see who would make better mods for my channel, see who can help me out, who would be able to support my channel in that way. It's definitely always something, always a growing thing. It's funny because I always think about like the more technical side of the streams and the design aspects or hardware aspects, and then it's the community itself. I'm still feel like I'm working on that, even still after a year later. I'm still trying to figure out what I want out of my community. That, and I've changed as a person as well, so that's another thing too.
The number one thing in your stream is your community. Like above everything else, you could just have your webcam, no border, just sticking in the center of or not in the center, but on the corner of your stream. You just like have it incredibly basic, and people will still come if they like you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's one of those things I'm growing on, and like in fact, I found out a lot of people didn't even like the Team Not Jesse, and they were on Team Jesse the whole time. I'm like, oh shit! I wish you guys told me sooner.
They're coming to watch you. Of course, they're on your side.
So
If they didn't like you, they wouldn't be there.
Wasn't the old slogan? It was like, "Make fun of me, don't tell me what to do," or something like that.
Pretty much. It was like, you can say whatever the hell you want, just don't backseat my game.
Right.
Dude, I'm so sorry I ever mentioned any advice whatsoever on that one time I jumped in, because I really want you to beat that level, and I felt like dude. Okay, honestly, just be straight up with me, Jess. How many times did you die on that level so far? To be honest with me, what's your death count?
I've lost count, and that's a depressing number I don't want to go into.
I think the answer is too many.
It's so hard. You want the person you're watching to win. I want you to win, Jess. Gosh darn it, win, man, win.
It's so hard not to fight sometimes.
Oh, I know what you mean. But anyways, who wants to take on the next topic? We'll move on from here. Sorry that took so long. Chad?
Okay.
Chyado?
Okay. Yes, me. So, I always had this problem. Like I said, I'm still kind of new to the whole PC, like, streaming service and whatever, but I cannot raid correctly. I don't know how to raid properly. I don't know if you guys can do it good or like as well as others, but every time I'm like, hey guys, I'm finishing the stream. I got, there's like crap ton of people here. Let's go raid so and so. And like, I don't know if I should wait for a response. Like, should I like assume that they're gonna come with me? Because like, I'll be like guns blazing, like, yeah, here we come. And I'm like, hey, and it's just like cricket. And it's
One,
like,
you don't give them a choice, and two, some communities just aren't good at doing raids. Like mine, by the time I'm done at night, over half the people are probably asleep in bed or otherwise incapacitated and just have my stream open, honestly.
I find there are a couple things that make raids stronger. One of them is how long it takes you to actually start raiding. Because once your stream starts to wind down, people are going to start trickling out. It just happens. But if you're like, all right, so here's where we're going to end the stream. I'm going to find a raid person. Here's the raid person. Everybody go. More people are likely to go because they're still there, right? Of the people who would go, more of them are still around. The longer it takes you, like I have a couple people I like to watch who have great streams, but when they start to raid somebody, they have an elaborate like preparation they want to tell people, and then they get distracted and start telling another story, and like, oh yeah, right, we're gonna go raid, and then by the time they go to raid, they've got like a tenth of the people that they were gonna originally raid.
5 people.
And it's just like, well, I mean, you're doing your own thing, which is fine, but if you wanted a stronger raid, you have to be prompt about it. You have to be like, okay, this is what's happening, go. I don't do like a response. Some people like to do that like really snappy thing where like, okay, wait for my signal and we'll surprise the heck out of them. And they'll say something and then everybody posts. And I think that's really cool for the person getting raided, but I don't bother with that myself when I'm raiding somebody. I'm just like, just go. Go, say something along the lines of, you know, whatever. Go. I want to see you there. Because I find more people are willing to go if they go right away. And the longer you make them wait, the more likely they are to not be in part of the raid.
See, my thing is, I think the biggest thing for me is that you gotta hype up the raid, sort of. You gotta be like, look, this is something you don't want to miss out on. If you could stick to the end of the channel, and we could raid another channel. That's how I kind of handle it. Is like, look, man, let's go destroy and show some Twitch love to some other channel, and then, you know, we'll just make their day. You know, it's something as simple as that. That's the way I go about it. I do have the elaborate preparation, and, you know, I guess, sort of, like, you know, I'm about to type this in the chat, and if everybody could just copy and paste that raid call and show me you got your raid calls ready, show me we're going to be raiding in the middle of the stream. I mean, what? No, but in all seriousness, it's one of those things. I feel like you got to build up some hype. You got to pitch them. Hey, can you, like, are you willing to do this awesome thing with me and join me? It would be my pleasure if you guys could, you know, raid with me. I don't know, like that's how I personally handle that, and you know, you got to build up the hype for them to go out of their way and do it, you know, and rather than, you know, just be like, hey, we're just gonna raid a channel, you know, nobody's gonna stick around for that.
That's totally true. The thing about you though is you do that quickly. You do it while you're still talking about getting ready and finding a raid. You do your raid prep message before you even found your raid target. So you give people a chance to get ready before it's too late. So you do it in a way that makes it be like relatively fast. You don't lose too many people. That's the important thing. And then hyping people up is a big deal too, because I can definitely confirm that on days when I've been like, okay, look, we're gonna go raid this person. We've never raided them before. They're gonna have no idea what happens. There's like 200 of us in the chat. If we all go, it will blow their minds. And then we go, and there's 200 people, and it blows their minds, and it's amazing. But like, if you're just like, all right, today we're gonna go raid this person, you definitely get less people. That's another definitely true thing.
My problem is I typically end 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and there's not consistent people to raid, and usually they're almost like finishing up as well. It gets very, very difficult to try and raid at that time of day.
I've definitely raided people when they're ending their stream a couple times, and that's always an
Jesse knows about that.
Is it bad that I'm kind of like, okay, one, I've been raided when I was like ready to end my cast, and then I was like, you know, I'll go on a little bit longer. I'll go on for like maybe 30 minutes longer, and then I got raided again. I was like, son of a bitch, I'll go on a little bit longer. 3 hours later, literally, I got like 5 raids in the last 3 hours of my casting, and that was the 3 hours I was trying to pass the hell out, man. It was pretty bad, but on top of that,
have a time that I'm like, okay, I'm done. If it gets much past my my like hard stop time of like 4:30 a.m., I'm like, I'm done, guys. I do this every day. I can't stay any longer.
Dude, but like, does it sound bad that I kind of feel happy when I raid somebody's channel right at the end, and and aggravate though, like, oh shit, I'm about to end casting. I guess I'll go on a little bit longer. I guess the time I stayed on for 3 hours longer was that karma coming back to bite me in the ass. Like, really.
It's kind of fun. Only when it works out. Like, if the person you raid reacts well, then it can be fun. I think, like, the one I did on Monday when I raided somebody right when they were ending. They were like, "Oh no, you just missed it," and we like made a big deal about how we both just like came in at the end. But then he's like, "Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go like mega raid somebody." So all of my raiders and all of their raiders went together to this other guy's stream and just like made his night, which was awesome because it was like we turned something that was a bit of a mess into a positive thing. But like sometimes it doesn't work out quite as nicely as that, and it's not quite as much fun. But sometimes it's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really nice way to make somebody's day and whatnot, is being able to raid their channel and raid effectively and whatnot. And like, so like you just haven't been able to convince people to go over, Chyado, or?
Yeah, it's just like I'm about to finish up my stream and I'm like, hey guys, okay, I'm gonna like I'm putting like the copy paste in the person's Twitch page in the chat. I'm like, okay, here's where we're going. Let's do this. And then people are like, yeah, okay, cool. And I'll like have them thrown in there. I'm like, hey, okay. And it's like people are like, classes and how's it going? Like that. I'm like, what? We went over this. We went over what we're gonna say. What the heck happened between here and there? What did you forget? But then like the numbers show when I host them. But I'm like, ta-da!
I think it's just some communities that either you have a really active chat at the end of your night, or maybe you don't. Like I definitely, by the end of my night, like I said, most people are kind of tired. That if I'm like, oh, is anybody still awake? People will be like, yeah, I'm here. I'm just playing a game, doing something else. But
well, also it could be this. When have you been raiding like the whole time you've been casting, or is that just something you started like halfway through your casting? Like
I tried to raid when like in the first like I don't know 6 months of actually like getting real viewers. I would try to do it once in a while, and then hosting came around, and I'm like, well, I'll host them. Go say hi if you want to. Like I only host people that like if they're supporting me. Occasionally I'll go find somebody new, but usually it's people that I like or people that support the stream, and I just kind of stick to those, and I try to help out people who help me, I guess. Very, very rarely can I actually find a quality caster at 3 or 4 a.m. that I don't already know, is the problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because it's such an unusual time slot. I like using hosting now. I've just started trying to get into actually hosting people so that people who like watch me, when they're looking for people to watch, they can see people that I like. But I'd imagine that early in the morning, it'd be like pretty difficult to be like, oh, here's this new person.
Like to me, just hosting them and giving them that exposure. I know personally, if I get a host and I get that much more exposure that time of night, it bumps you so far up the list that you just start getting a ton of new people coming in.
Mm-hmm. On the side note, when we're talking about hosting, everybody knows my opinion on it and know where I may or may not go with this. Auto hosting can fuck right off. There, I said it. I don't like auto hosting. I feel like it's the laziest way to promote yourself, and like at a certain point, and be like, oh man, that guy's hosting me. Oh wait, he just hosted me another 30 minutes ago. Like what the hell? Like I don't know. Like do you guys do any auto hosting thing, or do you feel like there's a proper way to do hosting?
I've never heard of that.
It's not very hard to do that. Yeah.
Because like I've had it to where like it blows up my host notification and whatnot, and I'm like, dude, you need to take that off, or even if you do auto host somebody, I think you can do them proper and say, hey, I got you on a list, is it okay, or whatever, because I don't know, shit drives me nuts.
Is it just like constantly hosting different people to
Yes.
pop up in their chat?
Yes.
I disabled my bot thanking people for hosting, because I have people that I'm on their list and they host me for like 0 viewers, every night.
Oh yeah.
That, or I get random viewers that don't cast, and they're just like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna host you just so I can see my name in chat. And it's just,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. But like, yeah, basically what they do is they add their bot as a editor on their channel, and then they give it like an auto host. They put in a command for the bot to do every so often. Like, so I know OnkBot has it. I know a couple other bots have it, and basically, I don't know. I found it more or less annoying because, like, one, they're not taking the time out of their day to, you know, to do this, and then I'm taking the time out of my way to thank them and talk about their channel. So it's just like, really,
it's like you're talking to no one. Yeah. So what's
yeah. Yeah, that's another annoying thing. Is, hey, I'm trying to thank you, and then you're not even there. Then I found out you're not even putting effort in, and then I found out you're kind of a jackass. Like, but I mean, you know. But anyways,
that
escalated quickly.
Editors, and I tell them they can host people during the day. I do the first host, and then anybody after that, you know, they can throw the viewers wherever they want. Anything even they enjoy. You know, it's just to get like our name out there a little more.
I tell my editors, I'm like, look, you can toss the host amongst yourselves, but don't go, you know, crazy with it. You know, like, cause like I really hate it when, like, what was it? Somebody was telling me that they got hosted by some big streamer. And then they found out it was an editor, and that, you know, it felt like it felt really weird that he got that host from the editor and not from the actual person himself, you know.
Right.
And you know, he like wanted to, you know, earn, you know, that respect and earn that host that from that big streamer, who, you know, didn't actually do anything to help him realistically. You know, it's one of those weird, tricky things with editors.
Mods are an extension of you, though.
Yeah.
You trust them enough to make them an editor, so they should know what's appropriate and what's not. And typically, if they're gonna host that channel, they're gonna show up and be like, "Oh yeah, it was me. You know, I'm a mod in the channel." And
I would hope so. But you know, it's another tricky thing because like the guy who got hosted was just like, I don't know how I feel about this because you're not actually a big name streamer who's actually hosting me, and you know, like, I mean, mind you, I found out like that the guy was on vacation or something, so that could have been it too. So it's there's tricky scenarios, and you know, just editors can do, you know, powerful things. So as long as you trust your editors and what they're doing, then I go for it. I would say, because they could be, you know, as they can wreck the channel as you know, as easily as they can get in host, you know, and things like that. But let's see. Did you have? Chyado. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna ask the same question I asked Razy. Is like, have you? How long have you been rating? Like, did you have? Because like I feel like I'm asking this because like I feel like rating's kind of like second nature in my community at a certain point, because we started out doing something like that when we had like 10 viewers or so and whatnot, and then it just kind of went on and built on, and it just grew stronger because of that, you know. And people wanted to stay till the end, even though it was like 30 minutes away. They wanted to stay to the end and see a raid or whatever, or you know, something like that. So that's what I'm kind of wondering as well, because it's kind of also like, you know, how well it builds into the community, you know, or how, you know, tradition, I suppose, at a certain point.
Right. Yeah, like I said, starting out into new like PC streaming, like I got all these new people coming in, so half the time I'm like, "You guys ready for this?" And they're just kind of like, "Wait, what's happening?" And then, you know, it's hard to like kind of like have that connection between the community and the new stuff that's going on, because, you know, like I said, I kind of transitioned from a console to a PC, and I just started getting into raiding, like, not even recently. I would say, like, it's been less than a couple weeks since I've actually started to, like, really know how raiding works and how to host someone. Like I said, PS4 community for streaming is terrible. It's absolutely the worst. No one likes each other.
I didn't want to say anything, but
no,
I've seen.
I'll say it. I'm gonna say it. PS4 streaming and Xbox One streaming people are terrible. Like, they're like the worst scum of the earth, because they don't know how stuff works. They don't care to know how it works. As long as they can get those numbers and whatever, they're just like, whatever, F everyone else, I'm doing great. But I had to learn this the hard way, how to host. Like I didn't know how to host until I was on Twitch. I'm like, hey, how does like I was following I think Angry Joe. I was like, Angry Joe's like hosting somebody. What is hosting? What is this? And I actually looked into it. I'm like, oh, you can do that. So, but like you can't do that on the consoles and stuff. So I'm like, well, I guess there's no point because you can't really see if I'm hosting on a console, you know. But now on PC, I'm like, well, I want people to know who I like. I want people to know who is worth actually checking out and like getting into, and I want people to like join me and like rating these people like they do. But you know, I'm all new to it, so I'm just like, you know, like I said, I'm just like kind of like half AWS and half the stuff I do for rating. So I wish I was more constructed like everyone else is, you know, when they rate people.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that, like, if you, like everything else, kind of just practice that, maybe present it a little bit differently, or be like, look, you get a cookie if you go into this guy's stream or something. I don't know. Like, just bait them into there. Go over there. Oh, I don't know, man.
I haven't seen how you raid either, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, well, you know, think about this, because I haven't seen you raid enough to be able to see how you do it. But I think Jesse's got the right idea. If you're having a hard time getting people to raid, just try changing up the way you start your raids, and it might wind up making it work a little bit better. It's hard to say, though.
Okay.
Bring it up earlier, perhaps, too.
Yeah.
Be like, and make sure you're doing it every day. If you get people used to it, then they're like, oh, right, it's the end of the cast. Let's do this, you know?
Yeah, yeah, like, it becomes, like, second nature for you, and then it becomes second nature for them, and then, you know, it's just all something we all do together in the end.
You can also encourage people to say, you know, even if you can't stay, or even if you're not interested in staying, that's fine. But at least come and check the person out, right? Come with the raid, say the raid message, and if you gotta leave, that's okay. You can leave then. But at least you came to check the person out, because that way, even if they didn't stay, they might go back, right? I found almost all of the interesting people I watch on stream by following raids. So, like, it works. People just need to try.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. And who wants to go next, Razy or Vanguard? Who wants to take the next topic?
So yours, Razy?
You threw you under the bus.
Unless you don't want to. If you don't want to go next, I'll do it. Fine, it's mine now. You don't get to go now. It's my turn.
I didn't even know that we had to get a topic until we started this call today.
So. Oh my god, I'm sorry, Razy.
I got two topics, so I can take your other topic if you're not ready. But, sorry, just...
No, go ahead and go VanguardOfValor.
Yeah, let's go.
The big question I wanted to ask you guys was, how do you deal with a stream where it starts off and you're like, yeah, this is going to be great, I'm in the mood, this is going to be fun, and then like 30 minutes in, you're like, ugh. Like, what do you do when your mood just drops? The reason I asked this is because I had a stream recently where I started playing Mountain Blade Warband. I'm bad. I'm real bad at Mountain Blade Warband, but I also had terrible luck, and it was just like, I just hated it so bad. I'm probably going to go back and try it again some other time, see if it goes better, but I hated it so bad that even when I stopped playing, I didn't want to play anything else. So I had the solution that I did, but I want to know what you guys, have you ever had that problem where you start a stream and then your mood just plummets, and how do you recover? What do you do?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I might have the same problem too. Like, I feel like I had it the other day where I was getting wrecked a lot, especially at Super Mario 3D World. I'm like, I'm gonna beat it tonight. 8 hours later, shit, I'm not beating it tonight. And I just kept chugging on. I mean, it happens every once in a while. I will say that I think I need to get in the habit of setting an end time. And, you know, just knowing my limit and whatnot, because I know there's a lot of people who do 8-hour casts, but, you know, that I don't think that necessarily works for me, compared to, you know, just having a nice 4-hour cast and having a nice overall experience over the 4-hour cast, compared to the 8-hour cast. But, you know, I'm not exactly sure, you know, you're saying, like, just 30 minutes into the cast, you're just like, your mood plummets like that quickly, or is it just something?
It was an hour and it was an hour and a half, I think, halfway into my 3-hour casts, because I only streamed for 3 hours, so they're not that big. But like halfway in, I was just done. So I'll say what I did after everyone else has told me what they do. But
you tend to be pretty high energy. I haven't actually caught one of your streams, so I don't know.
Normally, yeah. I'm normally fairly energetic because I'm trying to explain my thoughts and sort of read what's going on the screen and keep up with the chat, and it's generally like a fairly energetic affair, even though I'm not like, okay guys, all the time. Like you can't keep up that level of energy. It's too much. Like
right.
you know, you're moving and you're in a good mood, right? That's the big thing. It was the mood plummet,
right?
That really killed it.
I mean, quite honestly, I've never really experienced something that fast. I mean, I've experienced casts where they just dragged out longer than I expected, and then my mood just plummets somewhere along the lines, and I'm like, I had no idea it was gonna plummet, and then I don't know, and then I have a, like, I just didn't know where to stop at that point. I probably just should have stopped, but no.
I actually know exactly where Vanguard is coming from, because there are times where I'll be in my stream, and I lose when I start doing bad in a game. My emotion goes with the game as well, and it's so like I'm like a roller coaster sometimes, because like the game really, if I'm doing great in a game, I'm like practically jumping out of my chair, like having a blast. But if I'm like dying left and right, like honestly, Jesse, when you're dying that much in that game, sometimes if that was me, I'd be like, we're done, and then I would just like shut off the stream like right then and there. And I know exactly what he's talking about with that emotion. Like when it goes down, just like, man, I have to do another hour, or else everyone's just think I'm like, you know, the worst streamer ever. So what I do is to counteract that emotion is I'll be like, I have to pee, and then I'll just like get up and walk away, and I'll like wash my face. I'll like take like a quick max 5-minute break. I'll like walk away, use the bathroom, wash my face, like open my front door to like stand up for a minute, just like get some fresh air in the body, and like you know, just kind of like almost like an aerobic sort of like routine I do, and I'll like sit back down. Yeah, exactly. Just get rid of all that negative like energy going on, and then sit back down and go, okay, class, let's get back into lesson. And then we'll go right back into it. And then like I feel a lot better, because like I walked away from that, you know, like bad attitude, and I kind of like, you know, reset, sit down, and you know, restart.
Yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. I think that's probably a pretty good way to deal with it.
You know, or you can eat a Snickers.
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Snickers.
I think maybe I should need to start doing shots of wild turkey or something. Mix it up a bit. I'm doing bad in the game, but I'm drunk. Got something good going here. No.
I think for myself, I'm very even keeled. Like I don't know. It's really hard for me to get into a bad mood. There's about two things that can do it, and one is Twitch completely shitting on me and disconnecting me over and over again. Which when they used to have this problem where if you disconnected and reconnected too quickly, it would just stick everybody's loading screen or a Twitch screen at loading for the next like forever.
Yeah.
And so getting disconnected, it would just when it happened like 3 nights in a row, I couldn't take it, and I got in the worst mood that probably my viewers have ever seen me in. And the other thing is if I get trolled really hard, and it takes some really bad trolling to get me there, but considering I do anywhere from 6 to 8 hours every night, so it's pretty easy for me to stay in a pretty good mood, because I see it as I'm going to be here no matter what. I'm not going to let people like get me down. I tend not to be super up or super down, so that's kind of my bad thing, is I don't get like super hyper, and I'm not the I'm not the typical caster, I would say, in that I tend to be very chill, is what people always say, that like Razy's really chill. So but if I'm having one of those really bad nights, I typically just say I'm done and I will see you guys tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's fair. Because what I did last time was I wanted to cut the stream. I was in the mental state where I was just like, this will not be fun if I keep streaming. I kind of just want to end it. But it had only been an hour and a half. I was like, I can't end it now. I can if I have to, but I don't think that's a good idea. So what I wound up doing was, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it the easiest I could possibly take it. So I closed the game, I loaded up something super zen, and just like, okay, you know what we're doing? This is a zen stream now. And I was like, all right, how are you guys doing today? We're just gonna take it nice and easy, not worry about anything.
You have a great voice for that too.
I just kind of like went into like don't care mode, and it was just like had a nice, relaxed last hour and a half of the stream, and that was fun. I had a great time doing that, and it was like that. I think that was the thing at the time that I needed to do. I just needed to be like, you know what? Doesn't matter. We're just gonna take it easy, do something super low pressure, and just relax. Played Osmos, which I don't know if you know, but it's basically just like chill music, nice colors.
So what was it that like turned your mood completely around?
I think it was like I just decided, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with like I think it was like the pressure and the frustration of the game not working and not understanding it. I was just like, I'm just gonna pick a game that you can't not understand because it's super simple.
Right.
All I'm gonna do is take it easy, do what I feel like doing, which is not a lot, which is why I was playing a very simple game and like taking it super low. But the thing was too that like I just decided I was going to do this. I'm like, you know what, whatever, we'll do it like this for now. But people really got into it, and I think that was what made it be like, you know what, okay, this is fun. People are liking it. If everybody left, then I'd be like, okay, I'm done. And hit the button and left. But like people really got into the Zen stream atmosphere, and I was like, you know what, this is cool.
See, this is gonna sound really random, but I found when I was getting wrecked a lot, and this happened in like 2 occasions recently. The first one was Boshi, and then the second one was Super Mario 3D World. When I started getting wrecked a lot and like dying a lot, I went into like super deep thought mode and like talking about like this, that, and the other. I was just like trying to talk about anything that would take my mind off the game. Like, you know, because like at first like the salt would get to me, and then I'd just talk about this, that, and the other, and just like, hey, what have you guys been doing? What have you been up to? Oh, I think this is really cool. Hey, let me tell you about my job. This is what I do. And then I just went on like these random tangents, and I like really random tangents, and I don't know, it took my mind off the game where I just started rambling more, you know. But like when I get wrecked at a game, I will admit I do get a little bit bummed out, and then I just talk about like what was it? I think last night, whatever. I was telling everybody that I serve tables at on the beach and everything, and I was like, this is how you should tip. This is why you should tip. This is how like I work off tips, like, things like that.
Yeah, it's just kind of like take your mind off of whatever's stressing you out and take it easy for a bit. Even if you're still in the same game, I found it helped a lot.
Gallifrey Gal. I was actually getting wrecked at Boshi, and I swear to God, I had an outer body experience at a certain point where I was just like, I couldn't handle the game, so I just like my brain just forgot I was playing a game at a certain point, just kept going. And shit got really deep that day.
Dude, yes, I think, is that the one you have highlighted where like you're breathing super heavy and you're fighting Hello Kitty or something like that?
No, well, I mean, yeah, that is I Want to Be the Boshi, but oh my god, that shit. Fuck that game. I need to go back to it. So we can have more deep conversations, of course. No, I actually enjoy that game, because contrary to popular belief, I think it's one of those Twitch rite of passages that I think everybody should at least try. For the record, I know Daikon doesn't want to talk about it. He couldn't get past the second screen.
It's fired.
He was like, this scrub Jesse could do it. He even told me, he was like, yeah, this scrub Jesse could do it. I can do it. And then he couldn't.
I do like Vanguard's setup though for that Zen thing. That does sound like a really good idea to just kind of default on this feature that you kind of like came across, like the Zen kind of thing. That's actually really unique. I kind of like that idea.
Do you use that as?
I'm probably gonna do it again because it was good.
Yeah, that's what I was actually gonna ask. Is like, do you use that as a default game, or do you? Like, cause I know a lot of people, they have like a fallback game or like a wind down, game thing or whatever.
Man, I had never played it on cast before. I just decided I was going to play this and do the Zen thing. It was just completely an experiment because I was like, you know what? This stream's a disaster anyway. Let's just try something.
It can't get worse.
Exactly. Even if everybody leaves, it's already pretty bad, so I don't care. And it worked out. So I have a feeling that if I'm ever just like totally not feeling what I'm doing, I might try that again.
Word. Let's see. So, Razy, I'm sorry.
If you don't have a question, I got another one.
It's up to Razy if you want. Because I thought I told everybody a topic, but yeah, my bad. Oh, I'm gonna apologize.
I would say for me, it's I think the hardest thing to do is having a relationship outside of streaming. It might be like just my problem because I stream 7 days a week. I stream, it's essentially like having another job. And then I take care of my parents, I stream, and that's what I do. Like, I have basically like 6 hours between when I wake up and when I stream. That's when I help my parents. And then I have like 2 hours at the end of my night. Finding somebody outside of Twitch seems to be really hard, and it's like people don't necessarily accept it. They're like, oh, so you just like sit at home every night, and well, you take up your nights doing this. You're busy during the day, so I think that's the hardest thing for me is finding time to interact with people outside of Twitch. And I just like, how do you guys deal with that?
Honestly, like it's been one of those things. Is like I've been working on because I've been for a little bit long, like a long time. I've been like accusing my local friends. I'm like me and them are drifting away. We just haven't been able to get together and whatnot. But at the same time, like I feel like since I started Twitch, is that I've been pushing them aside, trying to make this more of a thing, kind of like a second job at a certain point. And then I finally sat down with my job, my serving job and whatever. I was just like, look, I'm gonna be doing this at night, and I need to set, my schedule to set around this so I can do this at night, and then hopefully hang out with my friends somewhere in between. But truth be told, I feel like at a certain point it's kind of a necessary sacrifice. And in fact, I know a lot of people I've actually known 3 couples who've met in my channel directly, and they started dating online and whatever. And it's surprisingly, dating online has become a bigger and bigger thing. And well, you've heard of people getting together since WoW days and whatnot, and now it's a lot of people are going through. Are meeting up through Twitch, and I kind of find it funny that people are meeting up through my channel, and I'm still single. What the fuck? I'm just gonna throw that out there, ladies. But I also I cut time at work a little bit because I'm not stressing on my bills anymore, and then I to set aside for my streaming, but at the same time I'm still making good money at work. So it's one of those things I gotta say is I feel like it's a sacrifice you kind of have to make, unfortunately, like if you want to go further, because you think about like how many people want to progress on Twitch and how many more hours they're doing it. And I'm not saying go push away your friends or anything, but maybe even just like set a time or set a 1 day a week maybe to hang out with them. And I've been trying that recently.
For me, I basically work on all the days I don't stream. But I have a couple like caveats where I always have Sundays free to hang out with friends because I play Pathfinder with them and we have all kinds of glorious adventures. But also it's the kind of thing where like if something comes up in the week and someone's like, hey, I want to, we're having this party or we're doing this or something's happening, I will like 95% of the time be like, okay, I'll be there. And I will cut my stream short that day. or I won't record YouTube videos that evening, or whatever, to make sure that I'm still doing things with people. Because the thing that you got to be careful with is that, like, if you always say no, people are just going to stop asking you. And then when you are available, you won't get to go because no one's asking you. So, like, I can't speak for other people, obviously, because I have a very minimal streaming schedule. You know how it is. But I definitely try and make sure that I can be available for anything that's happening, just so that I'm not losing out on that side of doing things.
Yeah. I've knowingly made the choice to do less with my friends because I may not look like it, but I'm 32, and most of my friends are coupled up or married. It's very hard to get a hold of any of them anyways to begin with. So, like, putting everything into streaming and then taking care of my parents, I'm happy to do that. It's just I wonder how it goes for other people.
Well, for me, I'm like in this lucky/unlucky situation where, I mean, I just graduated from a university here in Japan, and people that I've known to become friends with, they just fly back to Europe or America, where they're from, or my Japanese friends, they go back to their home prefecture. So I'm in this spot now where I actually don't have anyone to actually hang out with because they're all gone. I do have my girlfriend, but I had to address that. You know, I have to tell her, like, hey, you know, I'm taking Twitch kind of seriously. I'm taking this as something that is sort of like a pivotal, like, ship to help me find a career in the future or something, just something to help put me out there, you know? And I tell her, like, I want you to know that when you call me sometimes, I am going to ignore you on purpose because I might be streaming at X time to X time, and I'm going to let you know. So, like, I try to address the situation before it becomes a problem. You know, I'm like, hey, this is what's going to be happening. I want you to know this is something I put passion into because I want to make sure this is, like, high quality stuff. I'm just now getting into YouTube. I'm translating Japanese videos into English and everything, and I want to make this something special. So I tell her, like, you know, I love your guts, but I want you to know this is something I put passion into, and I don't want to, like, half a double S this. So yeah, I kind of, like, address it before, you know, it, like I said, becomes a problem. By the way, you mentioned something about, like, people becoming couples online and everything. That's actually, I don't think, okay, she's not gonna be watching me, but I'm not supposed to, like, to tell this, but that's actually how me and my girlfriend met. We met online. We've been dating for the past 2 years.
You're not supposed to tell it. It's going to be recorded on a podcast.
Oh, okay, good.
Then
she
that she's going to watch later. Oh God.
Because I always, if my phone rings, I will always stop my stream to answer it. But that's just because I very rarely ever get phone calls. So if somebody is taking the time to phone me, it's normally a big deal. So if anybody calls me, I always stop my stream and answer the phone. I very rarely silence my phone. I did it today for the podcast because it's somebody else's thing. I don't want to interrupt. But when it's just my own thing, I almost always interrupt for phone calls. And I feel kind of bad doing it sometimes. I'm like, oh, sorry guys, this might be really important. I got to take this. So, like, it's different though, because it's like, you know, I don't get a lot of phone calls.
Yeah, like, help on my fire, please save me or something.
Exactly. I get a lot of phone calls from my family, so I have to mute that shit. No, not like that's the thing. Like I'm actually very active with my family, and I'm trying to convey to them. And that I think that's the hardest thing for me is that, you know, I'm trying to tell my family I'm not just playing video games online. I'm trying to make this more. It seems it looks like I'm playing video games online. You caught me, but it's I swear to God, it's more. Like, and they really have no idea.
Preaching to the choir over here. Yeah.
People have a hard time understanding that streaming isn't just sitting around doing nothing.
Right.
In fact, I tried to.
Can be a big deal.
I actually told my boss what I do at night because, like, when I was requesting for the nights off, he's like, "So, you know every way, like, you know how to beat Pac-Man inside and out." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go with that." He's like, "Okay." So you know how to get the new roster onto the new Madden game. I'm like, no, dude. He's like, I don't know if I should let you have those nights off anymore. It's like, son of a bitch. Sure, I'll try to help you.
He's just trolling you.
He really is. Hate that guy.
My parents have always been like the understanding of that more than I think other parents, just because how long I've played video games. And like rating on WoW, I was always rating with a a top U.S. guild, and so it was like, you know, I do this every night, and they're like, well, I guess as long as you're committed to something, then it's okay. And they know that I do this every night, so they're just like, okay, you know, if that's what you want to do with your time.
Yeah, like you know, and like I even told my bosses, like, you know, I have this podcast too. It's like, you know, where it's more about like where we talk about more than it's just you flip on a game and, you know, you go or whatnot. And he was like, so you're gonna help me, right? I'm like, no, god damn it. But like he just keeps falling back to like I'm the video game wizard or whatever. I'm like, you son of a. But you know, so as far as like me hanging out with my friends, I like. And when I do, I definitely try to make the most of it. I actually decided to take the data off my phone so we don't have Twitter or Skype as I'm going out and hanging out with my friends, as well as, you know. But at the same time, when I'm here streaming or whatever, I do turn off my phone and I'm like, look, I'm gonna take this, you know, very seriously and you know, and not have any interruptions in my stream, much like they don't have any interruptions while I'm going out being a drunk ass or whatever have you. But that's the way I'm not confirmed a video game wizard, damn it. But, you know, that's the way I handle it. But, does anybody have anything more to add? Because
do you guys get hit on by dudes constantly?
Every day.
Yeah.
Can you blame them?
But that might just be because I don't have a camera.
Yeah.
People can't see me. I get a lot of people commenting on my voice all the time.
Right.
I don't get people actually hitting on me so much.
I get people
the
who
little bit that I get, if women on Twitch get it, I feel sorry for them because it is so awkward.
I mean, yeah, Dr. J-Lad hits on me on a daily basis, and I ain't stopping him.
Yeah.
But no, like, I actually haven't got hit on really that much. I know there's some people who like joke around and they don't go really strong or anything. Or, in fact, more people just call me an asshole. I kind of wish I got hit on. You want to trade?
It's. I know they're joking. Most of them, they're like, you know, if I wasn't straight, but it's every day, so you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder.
It only takes one yes. I don't know what to tell you. Persistence.
No,
I am sorry, man.
No,
like,
it's kind of funny, but after a while, it's it's like a form of trolling. It's very.
Just ban them, like that, maybe. Look, I've told you no so many times. Let me give you the hint and just get rid of you from my chat room. Right. I don't know, man. Because that seems like it seems like they're taking it to an extreme point where they're making you feel uncomfortable. It's like, dude, really, come on, back the fuck off. No means no.
I don't know if it's just me, but like, it doesn't matter. Eventually, another one of those guys comes back around. It was like the first guy that really like he helped my cast out a lot. He gave me enough money to get a capture card, and then he turned into this weird like. Every day he'd stop by and be like, "I love you," and I'm like, "That's nice."
The thing too is if you have a good reaction every time they say it, they're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I think that's probably why.
Like, hey Razy, and you're like, "Oh no, not this again!" Like, you know, you play it up ever, then they're gonna keep doing it every time.
All right.
I mean, I think you should hit on them back. Make them really uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
Start doing a strip show. I don't know.
You might get some donations. Might keep it up.
Then they would get into it.
Then it's too late. You can never go back. You have to move to a different campsite.
I don't know. I feel like at a certain point you got to out-troll the troll. Or then it's somewhat my specialty, I suppose. Dealing with so many trolls and people. Oh yeah, Twitch TOS might be a thing, so don't strip. No, I actually don't recommend that. Just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
It wasn't a year ago when I was, you know. Never mind. Anyways,
Put on multiple shirts. Put on multiple shirts and be like, "You guys want to see me take it off?" And they're like, "Yeah, you take it off. You have another shirt on." I'm like, "Okay, there you go." Like, just wear one now.
First time I saw Jesse, he was drunk, getting trolled to shit. And shirtless.
Good times. That's how my community built. You can see where it was toxic.
It's on a strong foundation.
Yep. Thank God I blew that foundation up. Oh, shit. So, anyways, moving on. Guys, we're going to be taking a quick 5 to 10 minute break, but before we go, if you guys got anybody you would love to plug, anybody you guys would love to shout out, drop their links and spam it in chat a little bit. Now is the time to get those links ready so you can copy and paste it and spam it. Who wants to go first, and who would they like to recommend? And just give us a breakdown of who they are, what they do, what their channel's about, and you know, how, you know, why you're recommending. Give us a sales pitch on them. You know, I'll pick Chad first.
Okay, thank you. So I have a. This is like pretty much from the start. I had no idea how to stream, or even like back on the PS4 era that was going on. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know how to build my channel. I didn't know what was going on. And then I posted on the Reddit Twitch forums. I was like, hey, I'm new. Please help. Send amber lamps. And this guy, I'm going to put in the chat real quick here. Trainwreck, I'm going to spam it. Trainwreck actually popped in and saved the day. He is actually... he lives up north of me here in Japan. He's American, but he's like descendant of Japanese, and he lives up north of me, and he like just like full on took me under his wing and like led me up to where I am now. Like taught me like, you know, this is how you like do things, this is how things work. You know, when you got these kind of people in from Japanese community come in, just be sure to handle it like this. Like he was so helpful on that kind of like scenario, and he is a ALT. That, you know, teaches English or whatever, and he is just a lot of fun to watch. He's so relaxed. He's like Razy but smokes, and he's just so easy to talk to and just get in with, and just, you know, kind of just like hear him talk about his life, and you just feel like you've known him for a while. Just talking to him, you feel like you've known him for like ever since you were a kid, and he's a lot of fun to just like sit down and like watch. Because I often, before I go to bed, I'll like watch him for an hour, just like lay down and just watch him off my phone or whatever before I hit the bed. But he's a really great streamer.
Word. I will check him out. I have dropped on the follow, and I do recommend you doing the same. That is Trainwreck, JP. Alright, yes. And let's see. Vanguard of Valor, I'm going to put you up on the spot next. Who would you like to recommend? Give us a sales pitch on what they've been doing, what are they up to, and why we should follow them.
Okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit, but I'm going to do it so fast he doesn't have a chance to stop me. So here's the deal. I have a Twitch team. It's called The Quest. It has 10 streamers on it, including myself. I think they're all amazing. I started the team a little while ago so that I could give people some more publicity, rather than link you to just one of them, which I don't think I could do in a way that is fair. I am going to just link to the team. Check any of them out if you think they're good. I like all of them. They all do great work. They all have great streams for different things. Some of them stream mostly on console. One of them streams mostly on 3DS, and they're just great people. So if we can check out The Quest, that would be awesome.
Alright, I will definitely check out The Quest. Let's see, you know what, I'll mark that for later, so I don't forget.
Sorry if I was supposed to pick just one person, but I couldn't, it wasn't fair. How could I pick one of them?
I mean, fair enough, it's one page. I'll give you that.
It's one link.
It's one link. So, let's see. Razy, who do you got for us today? Who would you recommend? Give us a breakdown on the channel, what they're about, and who you know, why we should follow them. Sales pitch.
I would go with Crimson. He has been a guy that has helped me out a lot since I started doing my Final Fantasy marathon last year. He showed up. I knew who he was long before he started showing up in my channel, because there's this old group on Twitch called The Crew, and he used to hang out with them a lot. But he got back into streaming, and he used to do and still does a lot of like Mario hacks, or just like a lot of Nintendo games in general. But he played a lot of that, got partner, and now he's trying to diversify, and he's also kind of dealing with a chat problem, kind of like what Jesse has had.
I'm not gonna lie, I've seen him in my chat so many times, and I had no idea he streamed. So
he's a great guy.
Yeah, I'll definitely check him out. Let's see, and ladies and gentlemen, that just leaves my plug for the evening. Let's see. How do I put this? I just recently became part of a team that most of you guys may know, that it is the Arcade, and I recently, more or less, like, as he added me onto the Twitch team, I more or less got to know him more as a person. He's a very nice guy, very awesome guy, very supportive of his community, of his team members, and you know, very just overall, just he's a good guy. Follow him, and if you don't already know him, it's going to be Andrew Arcade. Most of you already know him, but, you know, at the same time, I just thought I need to shout him out because I do appreciate what he's done in helping me and helping, you know, a lot of the other streamers I know. Such a supportive member of the community that I know, and yeah, just go follow him. If you already don't know who Andrew Arcade is, you're dead to me. Alright, whoa, that got a little dark there.
Heavy
please just follow him. He's a good guy. He plays a lot of Sims and he's really funny, and he also likes pumping out babies in that game. Don't make it weird. But anyways, guys,
before you said in that game, I was like, whoa, that's something you don't normally see on Twitch.
You made it weird. But anyways, guys, if you could do me a favor, follow Andrew Arcade. If you could follow Crimson. If you can go check out the members on the quest. If you could go check out Trainwreck JP, drop them a follow, load up their follow, you know, blow up their follow notifications or anything like that, and you know, see if we can just make their day when they come back to the cast and they get like 10 follows. But other than that, guys, we're gonna be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and guys, just let me know when you're back. I will be getting set up for the Q&A. Guys in chat, if you could do me a favor, if you got questions you want to ask the cast, we got about an hour of Q&A. We're gonna get going on, and basically we got about like 5 questions right now. If you want to do more, and if you want to do multiple and let the cast go longer, and then more serious questions will be answered, of course. And yeah, it would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, you can ask as many questions as you would like. But yeah, definitely we do appreciate you all's input, and we do, and like, as much as I can't interact with the chat, and I'm trying to tone down my interaction with chat so I can pay attention more to the guest on this cast. So with that said, I think the Q&A is a good way for me be able to filter out and organize all the good questions you guys have for us. And, you know, anything Twitch related, or some of them can even be silly. Trust me, I've seen some pretty silly ones. And silly's a euphemism if you haven't figured out. But anyways, but just ask away. Other than that, let's see. Just let me know when you guys are back on call. I will be here. And feel free to talk to chat. They don't bite sometimes. But what's up, Dwarf Orgy? Which is not Dwarf Froggy. Which is what I found out last night. What is up, Sweet Mopey? How are you guys doing? And Optic Snatch Lord. Oh my God, Dwarf Orgy, Optic Snatch Lord. I feel like this is a good combo here. But you know, how are you guys doing in chat? Are you having a good time? We don't bite. Well, some of us do. Gallifrey does. These names. I know. That's what I'm saying. How can I bite? I don't have fangs. God damn it. I'm feeling sexy and free. Oh my. Oh my. That right there, King what? That's one reason I wish I didn't use a webcam for him, so I could just be naked behind the camera, behind the stream. Nobody will ever know. I bet you Vanguard is right now. Just throwing that out there. But let's see. The Razy is real. I don't think he's fake. I could be wrong. I don't think he's fake.
Could be a clever disguise.
Could be a clever disguise.
He's actually 3 ducks in a man costume.
What?
You never heard that one? Oh.
No! How do you... What? That's a normal saying?
It's from a show or something. I don't know where it's
Oh.
actually from, but...
Interesting. 3 ducks and a man costume.
I play the Trumpet King, what? Good instrument.
Thank you, Bolak Jr. for the follow. Guys, do thank you for the follow. I'm trying, I'm trying not to type in chat as much because I don't want it to interrupt anybody or anything. So, I do apologize. But I am trying to focus more on the guests that take their time out of their day. And also, guys, if you could do me a favor, follow Razy, follow Vanguard of Valor, follow Chyado Sensei. Their links are in chat. You'll see the mods spamming them. You'll see the bots spamming them. If you could take the time out of your day, about 30 seconds out of your day, to drop them a follow. They are taking 3 hours out of their day to make this podcast possible. Thank you, Argo, for the follow. And it would mean a lot to me. And keep the cast going, keep the support, and keep the love going. So do it! I need to stop being threatening at the end. I need to work on that. You know, I always tell people, follow or die. Probably not the best approach.
No survivors.
No survivors. Take no prisoners. I feel like you get things done when you're threatening to people. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, look at North Korea. They got things going.
Oh god. That escalated quickly. That escalated quickly. Oh.
I'm sorry if I keep going, because like in here in Japan it's called aizuchi, and you do that when you conversate with people. It's like, it's rude if you don't do that. So I'm like, sometimes I forget, like I'm speaking with like fellow, like people back home. So like I keep going, sometimes when we're talking. So sorry if you. I'm not trying to be rude. It's proper to do that out here where I live.
Really? I honestly never caught on to it, but now I'm gonna call you out next time you do it to me.
Oh no, that's the worst. I should have said it then. Cause I just realized, because I got a message from one of my friends. He's like, dude, you're doing aizuchi right now with like people who don't understand that. I'm like, oh crap.
That kind of thing doesn't bother me at all, though. I have a tendency to try and like be encouraging while people are talking anyway. So it's like, yeah, that's still did it there because I do exactly the same thing.
Okay, I don't want to be like, this guy keeps like making sounds. When is he gonna shut up and like let me just talk? Like I don't want to be like that kind of guy.
So, for you guys in the Zoom call, if you could check the chat real quick, that'll give you a link to see what the questions are, so you'll be able to see those.
I was going to ask you if you had that.
Yep. And let's see. And we got questions coming in, and feel free to do them as much as you like. Like I said once again, but are we all back, or are we still waiting on Razy?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay, alright, we're gonna switch back. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And we got the questions rolling. And let's see. What do I want to... What?
How long that question is?
Yeah, I know.
Honestly...
All the time.
Okay, that's from Vash. So...
That's from the edge of the cell.
I think I'm the only one who could read that question.
Okay.
Let's see. So for Electric Kittens, this question is for everyone. How do you feel about viewers who try to be your friend outside of being just a viewer for your channels? I am talking about people who stalk you on Twitter, Steam, or attempt to add you on Skype and will not leave you alone. Have any of you experienced that? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because, like, I don't know if I necessarily have this problem because more or less I'm generally consider myself with all my viewers, but at the same time, I can
say
see...
yes. Just yes, I have.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
For sure.
Oh.
100% yes. I have like a policy where I accept anybody who adds me as a friend on Steam. So I've got like 300 and whatever friends on Steam, people who've added me from watching the streams and watching the YouTube videos. And some of those people really want your attention, and they will talk at you constantly and start asking you to do things for them and constantly asking you to play games that you don't want to play with them. Like it's just like they'll constantly try and get you to interact with them. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, I am totally okay with having you on my Steam friends list, but please don't try and bother me all the time. Don't ask me if I'm streaming every time I launch a game. Don't ask me if I'm recording for YouTube every time I launch a game. Like, I have no problem with interacting with you on my own terms. If it's like, if you say something and I answer back, that's cool. It's good. But like, there are people who take it way too far. And for those people, I just wind up blocking them. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't handle you constantly trying to have my attention when I'm just trying to relax.
I honestly, if anything,
sorry, go ahead.
If anything, I feel like I've ignored people. I'm just like, I don't really care, like, what you have to say. I just left it at that. Oh, I'm busy. I can't respond to your Steam message or your Skype message. So I don't know. Like, so do you bother responding to them, or I don't know? That's what I'm wondering.
I used to add people like to Steam. I used to have it on my page and be like, anybody can add me. But anymore, I don't play multiplayer games really. So I just I'm like, yes, I have PSN. No, I'm not going to add you. And I'm not going to add you to my Skype because my time is my time. And eventually I want to get a TeamSpeak. And so if I hop on TeamSpeak and I want to play some multiplayer games while I'm not streaming, then sure, we can do whatever. You can talk to me. You can interact with me. I'm always in my own chat. But other than that, I want my time to be my time.
What about you, Chyado?
It's a really difficult situation for me because more than half the people that want to talk to me after the stream are people who are really interested in Japan, and there's a lot of
they love anime.
Well, no, these are actually legit people who like. Well, I mean, they might be like that too, but. But there's like a lot of vloggers.
Illegitimate people who are actually robots.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
There's these vloggers in Japan, and there's a lot of people that follow them and watch these, subscribe to their YouTube channels and watch them, and they never have a chance to have these questions answered, And I actually personally know a really famous J vlogger, and these people on YouTube, they have so much time. They have little to no time, because of what they're doing, and so they'll come to me because I'm this live person, and they're like, "Oh, can I talk to you after the stream, because I have so many questions about Japan. I want to know how I can live there and die there." And I'm like, oh, okay. But it gets to the point now where people keep asking the same questions over and over. So I'm just now I actually have a whole resource page on my Twitch just dedicated to that, to these constant questions and constant.
That's a good way to deal with it.
Yeah, so it's all these resources. I'm like, hey, you want to learn Japanese? Here's the stuff that I used to use when I was first learning. You want to know more about Japan? Here's these sources and sites that you can use. You want to be creepy and stalk someone on YouTube? Here's a couple of YouTube pages that you can check out. And that's just one whole section dedicated to those people. So I'm like, you want anything, if any questions, whatever, go there. Stop asking me, please. I'm sorry. It's 1 million is 1 million. I can't go past that number. But yeah.
So let's see. So
while you're looking for the next one, the one thing that was mentioned in chat that was just yes, this is the thing that just gets people removed. Dr. J-Lad mentioned that people will just randomly ask you to buy them games. It's no, I don't have the money to randomly buy you a game. Goodbye.
Oh my god, yeah, that's I've had one person oh hey, can you give me a game or give me a Steam key? I'm like, and I straight up I had this conversation. I was like, yeah, sure. Now? Could you refresh my memory? This is a guy I hadn't seen in my stream apparently in so many months. And I was like, so what's your Twitch username so you can And he's like, oh, this is my Twitch username. I'm like, yeah, you're banned and I'm unfriending you. And you're blocked. We're done. I just wanted nothing to deal with that guy. It really pissed me off because I was the audacity. Oh, can I have free shit?
Yeah, no, that happens a lot here. They're like, oh my gosh, in Japan, send me that game so I can play it now. I'm like, okay, well, I'll tell you what. You send me about $200. I'll buy the game and then I make a profit out of it. And, I mean, you get what you want, and I get kind of money to eat on the side. They're like, why would I do that? I'm like, well, why would I send you a game?
Let's see. Dark Cobra asks, what is your biggest pet peeve while streaming? Everybody knows mine is pretty much in my role, but you know what? I'll let everybody else answer this first. Who wants to go first? Vanguard or Razy? Razy, you want to go first?
For me, it's definitely when people try to tell me what to do. Because if you're playing a game, and especially if I've played it before, and somebody is like, you should do this, I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Chyado's never had any problem with that. Or having an experience like he actually, this motherfucker tried to backseat me the other day.
Well, I really want you to win. But I won't do it again, I swear. Like, I'm surprised I didn't get my head off that point. I was just like, okay, he's relaxed, okay, we're good. And like, I understand that feeling, I totally understand, but I'm lucky because my stuff's in Japanese, so no one can be like, oh, you have to do this, and like, they can't do that. They literally can't do that, because I'm lucky I can kind of sidestep it. But if I do play a game in English, and people kind of like backseat it, I was like, okay, cool. And I'll like just keep doing my thing, whatever. And like, people like get aggressive when you do that. Like, if you just like ignore their advice, they're like,
yeah.
And
they take personal offense to it.
They do, yeah. It's like you slapped them in the face or something.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, is I purposely don't do what they say. They're like, you should probably use this to do that. I'm like, I'm not going to use that. And I'm still going to beat it.
Yeah, no,
I find that can actually be a problem, because some people like to, when someone's like, oh, all you have to do is this. Once you know that, it's hard to not intentionally never use it.
Right.
And that can be really bad. Like, I was watching somebody play a story-based game where it was, you had to choose from one of 3 text choices as to what you say to the person to make them not have something bad happen. And somebody in the chat told them what the right answer was. And they went through the whole logic process of what to do next, and then convinced themselves to take the wrong option because somebody had already told them what the right option was. And I think if they hadn't been told what the right option was, they would have wound up picking the right one because it made the most sense in the context. But they convinced themselves the wrong one was right, so they didn't have to pick the one they were told to pick.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's funny because, like, as much as Chyado is fearful of me and being backseated and whatnot, and I get pretty fucking salty, and it's a bad idea to backseat me when I'm salty, but I'll tell you what, there's one thing that pisses me off more than anything, and that's being told how to run my cast. And, if you don't do this, I'll unfollow. I love banning those people instantly. Let me just tell you that right off the bat. I might have a little bit dark pleasure in removing those people out of my chat and telling me how to run my own cast, how to run my own show, or the people who are needy and be like, oh, I'll unfollow if you do this. I swear to God, J-Lad, don't fuck with me. J-Lad, I see you in chat.
Tell him, go ahead.
I'll cut you.
Unfollow. Get the fuck out of here. I don't care.
J-Lad, no. Bad J-Lad. Down boy. Yeah, but no.
For myself, the thing that bothers me the most isn't a big deal, but it just annoys me when people do it. And it's when people keep, like, constantly name-dropping other streamers. Like, they'll come in and be like, hey, so this person wasn't streaming, so I figured I'd drop by. Oh, hey, this person's streaming up again. I might go watch them. Hey, so this person's having a bit of trouble with their stream, so I just figured I'd come back for a minute. Okay, I'm going back to this person's stream now. I don't care. If you want to go watch someone else, please do. That's totally cool. Have a great time there. But please don't just be like, hey, this person has a great stream, and I'm going there. I'm watching you. I don't care. Just go.
Yeah.
Or the guys that are like, oh, I just got done streaming. I thought I'd stop by.
Oh my gosh.
Really? You're gonna do this?
Yep. Or the guys who are gonna be like, oh, hey, I'll catch you later, guys. I'm gonna start my own cast. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
exactly. All those kinds of things. It's just like, I totally get that it's cool. You got it. You're gonna go stream yourself. You're gonna go watch somebody else. That's fine. You just don't need to make a big deal about it in the chat.
This actually reminds me, like, how do you guys feel like when, this is a little bit off topic, but how do you guys feel like when somebody was watching, you find out, because here's how I found out somebody was watching my cast while they were streaming, and they were chatting in my chat while they were streaming, and then they raided my channel, and then I was like, wait, what? Then he's like, oh yeah, I was chatting in your chat while I was streaming. I'm like, do you find that weird, rude, or like, how do you feel about that? I found it annoying, and I told him, like, look, I know you're a small streamer, I know you don't understand, but don't do that. That no, like, don't do that. I don't know.
It just sounds weird. Like, it sounds like it would make their own stream be really like secondary. That you can't watch a stream and stream.
Yeah, like I told him, I'm like, I want you to focus on your stream personally. And I wasn't trying to be a dick or anything. And mind you, he was a new streamer, and I was just like, you should focus on your stream. Don't be chatting in my chat when making their stream seem secondary.
The thing that always gets me though is there's actually two main things that really like send me up the wall. Is one is like, for some weird reason people think I'm like technical support, and they'll go on my Twitter and be like, hey, so I downloaded Minecraft and I can't like get pack 4707 working. What do I do? And I'm like, dude, I've never played Minecraft on my like channel. What the crap makes you think I know what's wrong with your computer? Maybe you should like actually go to like the Minecraft forums and ask that question again. Like, what? I don't know. Anyway, so with that aside, the thing that really gets me off the wall is how people are really insensitive, especially like racially, and how they'll kind of just like throw out racial slurs and just like not even like have a second thought. Like, I had this guy one time, he goes, hey man, you got a Jap girlfriend? And I'm like, whoa, what the crap? Like, dude, seriously? And he's just like, well, I don't know how to spell Japanese, so I'm like, dude, how old are you? He's like, I'm 17.
Super insensitive.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh man, yeah, no, I definitely have. I think I'm gonna add that to my list of banned words. I actually had to. I actually banned Jew. Like, I've had somebody say, "Oh, why are you being so Jew?" And I'm like, dude, that's not cool. Like that, for me personally, I don't like that one. And then, not to mention there's other obvious ones with the N-word, and the other obvious ones that are derogatory towards homosexuals and whatnot. And I try to get rid of all those and nip those in the butt. Like, that's a big no-no. But let's see. What is the most difficult part about keeping a schedule? Consistency. Yeah, keeping a schedule. I wanted to say that, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, if I sound like a dick. So I'm glad you sound like a dick for me. No, but like, honestly, it's just doing the whole thing consistently, and like, I can't imagine. I know there's some people who cast every single day, and they have like the same energy and all that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I there's some days where I feel like I'm like a little bit off, but I'm sticking to schedule, and then there's some days I feel amazing, but I'm sticking to schedule and whatnot. I don't know. I think that would be the overall thing for me, is that depending on what's going on in my life, it could affect my mood, or hey, this could be that, and the other. I mean, I could have a bad day, but I'm here on schedule having a bad day, I think. But that could just be me. What about you guys?
I definitely had, like, 2 weeks ago, I had like a down week, so it does get hard keeping a schedule. I don't know, you get the streamer blues is what I would call them. You just kind of get in a funk, and you got to just pull yourself out. You got to, I don't know, stop paying attention to view counts and just stream to stream. Enjoy, like, play a game that you really like, I guess. Even if you're mid something else, you just need to find something to get you out of that funk. And I think that's the hardest thing about keeping a schedule, is just keeping at it every day and keeping the desire to keep wanting to go every day.
Yeah, for me, my schedule is intentionally small so that it's more manageable. I intentionally broke up the stream days so that I don't have to stream a whole bunch of days in a row, because that way, if I'm not feeling it one day, it's just going to snowball into the next one. and like I find it works pretty well for me maintaining it myself. But the biggest problem with keeping the schedule is dealing with sort of people not in the internet world who don't understand that I do plan things on those days when I'm not working, right? They'll think, oh, you know, you're not working that day, you can do whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, I know, but I mean, I've kind of got a bunch of people waiting to see me do stuff, but like they don't get it. So I think that's the hardest part for me is just dealing
kind
with
of a big
people.
deal, you know.
exactly. You know how it is. But like, you know, people expecting you to do things because they think you have free time when actually you have something scheduled. They just don't realize that it's a thing.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I had to, like, it took me, I feel like it took me forever to convince my parents, like, hey, I'm trying to do something seriously here, and I'm trying to, and, you know, like, my friends understood a little bit faster, but they thought it was kind of weird. They're like, so you just have a video game and webcam in front of, and you're talking to a live chat, and you know, sometimes you get raided by 1,000 people, and you end up shirtless and drunk. What? Maybe that wasn't the best way to introduce them to that. But maybe that could have been my fault. Let's see. I love this question by Electro Kittens. This question is for everyone. Have you ever had trauma in your channel? You end up banning someone, and then that banned person takes to social media, such as Twitter, Facebook, etc., bad talking, telling others to unfollow you, and takes it to extremes. Have you ever had that happen to you, and how did you handle it? I will say I have had that happen to me. I am actually overly critical on what happens on Twitter because of that. A gentleman came into my chat, and he was somewhat of a regular viewer, and he wasn't on my good side anyways because he was already asking for mod in the chat. But like he was, and you know, jokingly, but you know, I told him, I was like, look, I'm gonna tell you straight up, please don't ask again. I already told you, you know, about mod and whatever. And then my moderators gave him a 10-minute timeout, and then he came back on a different account. And he's like, oh, my other account was banned, and then my moderator was like, it wasn't banned, it was a 10-minute timeout, you dingus, and then banned him. And then he took to Twitter, threatened my mod to come to Canada and kick his ass. And so I just ended up letting my mod, you know, ban him. I was like, you know, this one's on you. I'll let you have the pleasure of escorting this guy out of the chat. And I since then, like, you know, honestly, there was that one situation, but I think, you know, it's one of those things is that you're going out of your way to be a pain in the ass on a public platform like such as Twitter, when honestly like there's certain ways to go about dealing with things. If you like, I'm not saying threatening anybody is good, but when you go on Twitter, you're just asking for more shit to happen, you know, that you're not gonna like. But you know, it's one of those things. I'm overly critical on how people act on Twitter, which is actually why I actually filtered in the Twitter feed I have on here, because I've seen what some people did with the Twitter feed when there was no filter on there. There might have been dick jokes and stuff like that. God damn it. But yeah, no. So I will say that it's just one of those things you're gonna deal with, and just fucking ban them, mute them, and don't let the haters hate, and keep on with your stride. That's all I gotta say. What about you guys?
I never really had any experience like that, so I really can't comment on the situation, but I think just the best way to get rid of the problem is just to destroy it completely so it can't, like, fester and, you know, spread amongst itself. So that's all I can say for that.
Yeah.
Other than my one stalker that I said, you know, would keep following and unfollowing, he never took to Twitter, and I stay out of social media other than that. So I don't like Facebook and anything other than that. I just stick to Twitch, Twitter, maybe someday YouTube, but... Word.
What about you, Vanguard?
I've never had anything go that far. I've had people who won't leave me alone on social media or not social media, via Steam, but I've never had anybody harassing me over social media, and I've never had anybody that I've had to deal with for any reason then try and like run a campaign of hate against me. It's always I've gotten pretty lucky in that respect.
Word. This is gonna sound like a random question, but like, how do you guys? I know a friend who actually, he found out another streamer was bad mouthing him directly on stream and whatnot. Like, how would you guys go about handling that? I just want to see if I can have you guys' take on how you guys would handle that as well. Because believe it or not, Twitch is kind of a social media on its own, you know.
Yeah.
In a certain regards, with the chat interaction and all that, and you know, being able to vocalize opinions much more faster and effectively and live, mind you. But
sorry, is the question if somebody is bad mouthing you in their stream or if somebody's bad mouthing you in your stream?
Bad mouthing like you in their stream.
Oh,
yeah, like they're.
Well, I actually I had 3 people do that to me. This was during the sort of like the maneuver when I was transforming over to PC streaming, and one guy was just like, oh yeah, he couldn't handle like the attention, stuff like that, he doesn't know what he's doing and things. And you know, it's just people like that are either just incredibly jealous of what you have obtained, or they're trying their best in any way, shape, or form to, you know, hinder your image that you've like worked so hard to create. What I do is I just ignore it. You know, and I will, even if like the guy ends up in my channel, I still greet them with a friendly hello, because I refuse to like lower myself to someone's standards of being aggressive and rude to another person, because I'd rather be kind and considerate than to be like, you know, rude and obnoxious.
Razy
just set him up.
Razy's clapping it up, dude. What's going down?
In chat.
Yep, I saw what happened there.
My stalker has arrived. As soon as I said something, she showed up.
Oh boy.
Speak of the devil.
You know, she's there. I wouldn't call her a devil. Yeah. Anyways, have you guys ever had the encounter that issue where you were talking behind, or you have had somebody talking behind you, Vanguard or Razy?
I would say let them talk shit. I don't care. Like, if they want to badmouth me, then they can go ahead and do it, because like either their viewers will leave if their viewers like me, then they'll either come back and, you know, defend me, or maybe they'll just not watch them anymore.
My opinion on it is that I'm sure somebody has talked about me behind my back, but it was behind my back, so I didn't know about it, so I don't care. Like, right. If someone comes up and is like, hey, you know, this person was doing whatever, then if it's somebody I know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It was probably someone just trying to stir up trouble. Hopefully, if I actually know them and care about their opinion, they just tell me that there's a problem, right? Like, I don't know. I don't see it being a problem unless they're like actively trying to stir up trouble for you during your own time, rather than just talking badly about you on their time.
I find myself sometimes I can't help but talk some shit about like some of the big streamers that are they do some pretty wild and silly things. So you know, it comes up and you can't help it. I feel like.
No, that's actually a valid point, Razy. I have a question, like, for y'all. Do you find it, like, I admit, I'm like, hey, I don't like this guy's cast anymore, or, you know, he's a nice guy or anything, I can't get into his cast, right? I haven't been able to catch his cast or anything. Like, do you feel like that's crossing the line, or do you feel like maybe I should just cut that all entirely? Because I feel like I've done that a couple of times. Not even, like, catching myself, and, I just blurted out there, I'm like, I can't get into his cast anymore, nothing personal against the guy, but, he's a nice guy, I just can't get into the cast. Do you feel like that would be crossing the line or anything like that?
I think it's more of a personal preference, if anything. I mean, there's a lot of high top guys out there, and I can't stand them. And I don't know how or why they're so popular, but they're popular, and I'm just like, what? That doesn't make sense. How are you? I don't even, what? But, that's their thing, and, that's got nothing to do with me. I might say things like, yeah, it's not the thing for me, or like, I can't. There's just, it's just not. I don't know. I don't get it how they're so popular. But I'm not saying like they're a bad streamer. I'm just saying for me as a preference, it's not my cup of tea, if you will. But I think with that, it's not exactly an insult. It's more of just a personal preference of just saying, hey, that's not my thing. So.
Yeah, I was like I mentioned earlier, I have a pretty solid idea about how I want to present myself on stream. So like I don't swear on streams. I have a very I try and watch about that kind of thing. I try not to be negative about other people while I'm streaming. I have streamers that I just cannot abide, but I do not talk about them on streaming. I talk about them with people on Steam later, being like, "Oh, well, this person is driving me crazy," but I won't talk about that when I'm streaming because it's not part of the atmosphere I'm trying to promote.
Yeah, and now another question is that I've been I was once part of a very tight knit community and whatnot, and now it's like now I'm not part of that community anymore. And long story short is that I still like the streamers in the community. I just don't like the community itself. Would you feel like that would be pushing the line as well? Or I mean, mind you, I'm just asking kind of for myself at this point because like it's always a bad thing to be able to step on somebody's toes or anything like that. You know what I mean? But you know, I've expressed, you know, hey, I was a part of this community, but then things went south, and you know, I can't get behind that community anymore. I do love streamers from that said community, but as the community as a whole, not big on it, you know. And you know, it's kind of obvious when you have a Twitch team thing up there, and then it's gone for whatever reason. So you know,
it reflects more on their leadership than the individual streamers underneath of it. In my opinion.
Like, I mean, mind you, it's like I definitely don't drop names, and you know, I do have a lot of casters I love from that community, and then you know, but the community as a whole is just managed poorly. Long story short, so no, I'm just almost wondering if I'm offending people when I say that. But at the same time, I'm trying to be as nice and polite about it, you know. And a lot of people who know my channel know I was a part of that community, and then I'm not anymore. So it's kind of obvious. So.
My personal feeling on teams is teams are dead, and if they're not dead, they're a circle jerk. Not to rip on your community, your team, but that's what I've seen on Twitch. They're dead, or they're a circle jerk.
Here's the thing. I made a team. Knowing that teams are pointless, right? Yeah. That was a conceit going into teams. Teams are not something that's useful because what do you get out of teams? You get two things out of teams. One, you get raids. You get raids without it being on a team. That happens anyway. And two, you get people to play games with. You can do that with people who aren't on your team. You can do that anyway. Those are the two things teams do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, like, with the community it was bigger, it started before it was a team, and then once somebody got partnered, it became a team, and then it was a part of it, and then everything escalated quickly. Let's just say that.
I bet I know.
It's hard to explain. Yeah, I don't want to name drop the whole community. But
I'm not afraid to say that I'm actually part of a team that I could care less about because every single like solitary person in my team is Japanese streamers trying to get into Twitch, and they could care less what happens to each other in that team. And the only reason why I have that team is just to help emphasize that I am in Japan. That's the only reason why I keep that title there. I could care less what any of the other streamers do because they don't communicate with one another, they don't help one another. And like when I pop in some of their streams, I'm like, hey, you know, like, I'm talking to them in Japanese, and they're like, oh, cool, welcome. And I'm like, then I mention my foreigner, they're like, oh, yeah.
Poor Chyado.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not the fact that I'm a foreigner, but it's the fact that like they don't try to like help each other. So I'm thinking, what's the point of even being in a team if you guys don't help each other out, or like even like emphasize on like, you know, what we do as a community? It doesn't make sense to me. You know, like what's even the point of being a team?
They're glorified friends lists.
Glorified
friends lists.
Yeah, that sounds about right at this point.
For people who are having a hard time starting on Twitch, joining a team can be a nice like ego booster. Like, oh, I can really do this. This is something that might be a thing because these people like my content, and that sort of can help them keep their motivation high if they're having a hard time getting started. And I think that a team can have value if you use it in ways that allows it to help people interact. Like if you do multiplayer things with people and that kind of thing, it might actually have a benefit. But I feel like a lot of teams just sit there and they're not beneficial. And I'm not saying that my team's any better. My team is currently sitting there because I'm not a great organizer, but I feel that there can be benefits of being on a team. I just feel that a lot of the time it doesn't make any difference at all.
Yeah.
Word. Let's see. What? Oh, do you ever get burnt out putting content out every day by Dwarf Orgy? Is the next question. And truth be told, I have been burnt out, and I have had to take breaks. Mind you, some of the breaks is because of, like, not so much I was burnt out on putting out the content. It was so much I was burnt out on, like, my personal life that I needed to take a break because I feel like it would affect my stream. Like, I was unemployed at one point and moving back in with my parents. A lot of shit was going down that I didn't want to stream, and I didn't want to spill my guts in front of and whatnot. So I feel like I needed to take a step back and, reevaluate things myself before I got back into it and get myself situated, take care of myself before I, started, taking care of the stream.
Right.
But I don't know about you guys. Have you guys ever been burnt out or anything like that?
Like generally on a game, I'm assuming, or like generally just in streaming?
I'm assuming streaming.
I guess. I mean, yeah, I would say yes, because there are just times where, like, I'll watch people on Twitch and I'll be like, I should probably stream, and I'll just sit there and just continue to eat like my my frozen yogurt or something like that. And I'll be like, nah. I mean, I'm not like, I need, like, sometimes I need motivation to get into it. Like, I don't want to, like, half a double S when I stream, because, like, there's so many times where, like, I want to, like, be really into it, but if I'm not, then I'm like, why am I even streaming if I'm not even, like, putting my heart and, like, soul into this? So there are definitely times where I'm just like, I'm just gonna not do it today, just because I don't have that effort.
I kind of get that at the beginning of my casts. When I'm not really feeling it, I'm sitting there watching another stream, and I'm just like, yeah, just like 10 more minutes, just 10 more minutes, and then I'll start.
I haven't gotten burned out on streaming yet, but I burned out hard on YouTube at around Christmas last year. I was going away for Christmas, and right before I did, I recorded a whole pile of videos that I have stuff to put up while I was away, and the video corrupted really heavily on a whole, like, series of, like, 15 videos I made, so I couldn't use any of them, and it just, like, really frustrated me. So I put up what little videos I had, and when I came back, I also got sick, so I couldn't make any new videos, and then I just didn't want to anymore. I'm so far behind, I just couldn't get into the mood to try and catch up. So there was like a whole month where I didn't post anything, and then I kind of got back in the gear again and started moving, but I burned out real hard.
I feel like taking a break that long really hurts you, and that's kind of in the back of my mind why I keep going every day. Is like, I don't want to break my streak. I want to go at least 2 years. I want to go at least 2 years every day just to say I did it at least.
Yeah.
So.
The year away from the month. Sorry, words are hard. The month away from my YouTube channel definitely hit it. Not as far as like subscriber numbers, but views dropped when I started putting stuff back in. So it was definitely not something that was great for the channel.
Word. Let's see. Whoops. Let's see. I got a question from King. What is the most emotional experience / attachment to a video games? Something like an ending that totally floored you. And you know what? We'll extend this out to what is your most emotional experience on streaming as well, and been something that has been such a memorable, emotional moment on your stream as well. Like, you know, we can do one for the game, and then we can do one for just streaming in general as well,
Okay,
if you want to.
I got it. Okay. So actually, it was right when I was starting getting popular, and right off the bat, like, I mean, like, I was like flooring it, and I was like, it went awesome, and out of nowhere, I got a $100 donation. It was my first ever real donation, and I had the sound and audio set for everything. I had it all set, and I heard it for the first time, and I thought, oh, I must have an error or something like that. That's weird. Why is it going off? And I looked, and it was a real donation. And the guy's like, hey, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. And like, I just like almost broke down. I was like, hey, you know, you didn't really have to donate and like stuff like that. I was just like, I couldn't believe this is what happens, you know? Like, it was a sign to me that this is like a step forward of the way I want to go. And it was like, it was such a nice omen, if you will, like to see that actually happen. And I was just like, totally like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot of dust in this room, guys. I don't know what's going on. There's so much dust everywhere. But yeah.
Let's see. For me personally, I would say as far as the game goes, I'm trying to think. It's called Valkyrie Chronicles, if I remember correctly. Let's just say it's an anime-based game. I know there's haters out there. But anyways, and let's just say spoiler alert, somebody dies. I'm not gonna say who or anything. I can't go into much detail or anything, but it's a damn tearjerker for sure. But aside from that, I want to say that the most emotional experience for me was let's see, when what was it, a podcast, I think 17 or 18 or I don't know, whichever one. I was really drunk and I was just like crying on stream because there was $300 in donations, because I was like, holy shit, there was $200, like $100 donation and then another $100 donation, and then the whole chat totaled up. It was like nuts. And I kind of broke and I started drinking a lot more that cast, and I honestly felt like a jerk after that cast. I even told everybody who was on the cast, I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be this drunk on cast. And like, yeah, I was kind of a sloppy mess, but it's not every day that I get $300 and I don't know how to react. Even then, I still freak out when there's $100. You like just. You guys blow my mind. Seriously, you guys are nuts. And I love you, but you're nuts. But I still love you, but you're fucking crazy.
I have kind of the same reaction to people giving me things like that. Like, on the stream on Monday, when I had like the mental crash, or on last Friday rather, when I had the mental crash and did Zen mode instead, people were way too generous. And I wound up getting some like really, really generous donations, mostly of equipment that I can use for my stream, which is amazing and super useful and great because I probably wouldn't have bought it myself. It was things that I had put on my Amazon wish list, being like, I'm going to put these on there so I remember which ones I was looking at, but I don't expect anyone to ever buy them. And it was like, there was a whole bunch of just really crazy generosity that day, and it just didn't, I was already like mentally worn out. I was not prepared. It was great. But it was like, the whole time I was like, please just use your money for yourself.
Yeah, no, it's insane because like with all the chat donations, I've been able to upgrade my mic and mixer, and then gonna be doing a little bit more with the channel. Okay, let's see. But aside from that, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like, I don't want people to waste their money on me, and damn it, they're already doing it. Shit. Thank you, Electro Kittens. I don't mean to cut out from the cast, but thank you, Electro Kittens, for the $2 donation. Damn it. I'm gonna stop talking about donations because that triggers you guys. I don't like it. Let's see.
Come on, Jesse. Come
What?
on.
What?
You didn't give me a chance to talk.
Oh,
You go into the next question already.
I'm bad host. Go
Hey
ahead.
guys, welcome to the podcast. Razy, do you want to tell us what your most emotional attachment was to a game?
Thanks, Chad, for taking over.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jesse.
皆様、ようこそこのチャンネルへ。では、レイジさんからの質問なんですけど、はい、
I think the only
Oh
game
my god.
that I ever shed a tear to was Walking Dead, ending of that. If you're gonna go with emotional, that was probably the most emotional.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Mm.
Because, well, yeah.
They do a good job of getting you really invested in the characters there.
Right. The second one, not so much, but the first one. And then probably otherwise, the on-stream one would be earlier this year. Like I've been planning to do a second Final Fantasy marathon, and like I had the viewers vote on what they wanted, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 5. I'm gonna do 6 games, and then you guys are going to, if you want the rest of them, then you can add them. And they added way more than I ever expected them to add in a short amount of time. So there's two people in particular that they gave back to back, and it was quite a large amount of money. And luckily, it was Stella time right about then, so I went and took a break and gathered myself and came back. So just knowing that I actually have that much support for doing this every night, it was more than I thought they had. I knew from them being there every night that I have their a good community behind me, but I didn't know that whatever. I don't have the right words, but yes.
No, I hear you. Like it's honestly hard to explain like what the community does for you, and it's overwhelming. Like I never thought I would cry and everybody be able to see it live broadcast. You guys are special. Damn you. Not everybody gets to see my own tears. But anyways, let's move on. What other questions we got here? Accidental Argo. What is the most hysterical thing that has happened to you while streaming, whether in game, in chat, or otherwise? I mean, actually, this was the most hysterical thing was like what it for me was everybody was making absolutely shitty annoying puns, and
These are great.
I was like losing my mind. So I told my mods who were on duty, I was like, look, you get free dibs on anybody who makes a bad pun. And they just kept going on, oh, that's so excellent, and things like that. And I, like, we called it, like, we declared that day Modageddon. And it was just so memorable and so funny. In fact, one of my mods saved the chat log, and that shows how many bad puns were made in 2 hours or so of me just laughing. And it's funny because like the on-screen chat like had nothing on it because it would just get purged right away. Like, oh my god, it was ridiculous. But it's really hard to explain in particular, but yeah, just letting my mods like, run rampant for one day and let them take all their stress out on all the bad puns was a good time. It was a funny time for everybody, even getting purged, because like they knew what was going on. They understood, and it was so random. Fucking puns. But anyways, what about you guys?
It was a fitting punishment.
Fuck. I'm so done.
I couldn't not.
I know I've had a
I
lot
just
of
got
funny
that joke.
things happen.
Oh my god.
Wow. I know multiple times I've just started like bust out laughing, can't see my eyes anymore because I smile and my eyes disappear. But I can't remember any specific thing currently. I have so many hours of streaming logged up here that it's all blur at some point. And I didn't start highlighting. I don't do my highlighting. Somebody else started doing it finally. And I was totally anti-highlighting for so long that it's gone at this point.
What about you, Chyado?
I actually have a lot, but I'm gonna share just one of them. I don't have a top favorite, but I have a lot that I like, and I wish I could have recorded it. Me and my friend, we were playing what's the game called? The game where like you're like in friggin' Malaysia. What's it called? Far Cry 4. We were playing that, and I was flying those helicopter thing, and everyone was like watching us play this game. But like for some reason, like the game was like starting to like bug out. So like you can actually grapple onto the helicopter, but like when my friend was flying the helicopter, I was like swinging around that like a friggin' roller coaster. Like I was going around like this, and I was laughing so hard. Like there's this laugh I have where it sounds like a schoolgirl's getting choked to death, and it's so rare to hear that laugh. But like I was like doing it, and like I just totally forgot about the stream and everything, and I was like squealing like a little girl for like a solid 10 minutes. And everyone's just like, what's happening to Chyado Sensei? And I'm like, ha ha ha! Like I can't do the laugh. I like when I laugh like that, it's so embarrassing. But I was so red from embarrassment from when I was doing that laugh. But it was just one of the most memorable moments ever.
Word. What about you, Vanguard?
I don't know. I can't think of like the most hilarious thing. I know like the one moment that like sticks in my mind is I don't play scary games as a general rule. This wasn't on stream. This was on YouTube. I avoid scary games because I scare easily. So I'm just not into them. They're not my jam. But I was playing a nice RPG, exploring around, having a great time, playing Legend of Grimrock. And it's got these like really interesting worlds, this beautiful, great like combat system, and it's got these chests in it. And when you open the chests, you don't just open the chest, your character like sticks his head right in the chests. So the moment I opened the first chest, I was like, okay, these are gonna be mimics at some point. Because you're going headfirst into them in first person. There's gonna be mimics. Mm. So I'm exploring through the game, and I come across a secret area in which there is a hidden message, which when you dig in the right place, digs up a secret chest, which is also locked. So there's like 4 layers of hidden to this thing. So I open it up thinking, oh, this is gonna be perfectly safe, and it's the first mimic. It's in the game. And it scared me to death. I panicked and like jumped off of a ledge and like ran away and was like legitimately terrified. I think it was the first time I've ever been legitimately terrified on video. And I was just not ready. I was not ready at all. But it was pretty funny. I made it for a good video.
Let's see. Besides video games or streaming, what hobbies do you guys have? Like music, art, sports, or something? Let's see. That's asked by King What. Me personally, it's funny because like all of my hobbies can be streamed. Like I do pixel art. I'm actually working on a lot of pixel art, and I've been doing pixel art before I started casting, and then it kind of just became one of those things that naturally translated into my cast. Right now, I'm actually doing pixel art of Earthbound fonts, and I'm going to be making a legitimate font type that I can type out and maybe have it on the screen for the podcast or something. I don't know. It's one of those things I'm playing around with. So I would say arting and graphics design, mind you, at the amateur level and the pixel art level, I would say is something I enjoy doing, and it's kind of really relaxing for me, especially when I do it on stream and I get like a bunch of like music I wouldn't play on stream normally because it'll be it would be muted otherwise. But yeah, that's one of the things I enjoy. And what about you guys? As far as other hobbies and whatnot. Oh, other than that, I like drinking. I don't know if you count that as a hobby.
Yeah.
I don't know if you count that as a hobby or something, but
as long as it's not your job.
Valid point. As long as it's not your job.
Hobby. Well, I really like riding my bicycle, and I don't mean that to make a reference to the song or anything like that. But I really
love that song, though.
It is a good song. I don't listen to it when I ride my bicycle, though. But I mean, where I live, it's so flat, which is really nice because I can just go really far. Like I've gone to like actual different prefectures on my bicycle. I've gone like 40-something kilometers one time on my bicycle, to and from, to like other areas. Just like I just want to explore. Like I really want to make my life out here an adventure. So I love like walking off the beaten path and like seeing what's like. There's like mountains that are near my apartment area. I'll like walk in the mountains and like go up trails and stuff like that. I love hiking. I love riding my bicycle, like swimming. I'm very active if I can find a moment to be active, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see, Razy, what's this about fixing water heaters?
Oh, I had to fix the water heater here, like, yesterday. So I was like, oh, guys, I got to end like an hour early so I can actually wake up and help my dad fix the water heater. It's just...
Is that what we're calling it now?
No, my mod being trolly. All my mods are trolls, but they're not like bad trolls. They're the decent, just a little bit trolly kind of trolls.
Yeah, I think mods are meant to be trolly. I that's what I've come to understand. But so, what's your actual hobby if that's not it?
I really like card games,
Card games.
Magic, or other like physical card games, Dominion, Ascension. That in like board games. Board games are not enough people play adult board games, and I don't mean adult like, ooh, these are a bunch of naked ladies, but like actual games you have to think about, and you know, roll dice with your friends and.
More like so like are we talking like have you watched Tabletop actually? Have you watched that YouTube show called Tabletop?
I would not like to watch other people play those games.
But it's a good like synopsis of like, you know, what games like to buy, because like I've actually used to be really into board games at one point, and like I found a lot of old tabletop games, board games and whatnot, through that show that me and my friends have played at one point or another. That's why I'm just kind of throwing it out there. It's by Will Wheaton, but anyways, it's kind of a random question. But like, I used to be really big into board games, and then I got lazy.
Yeah, I had friends that they'd buy new board games all the time, like in college, and so I got to play a lot of these games that are now like everybody's like, oh, these are amazing, and they're like universally loved, like Settlers of Catan. You know, I was playing them back then, when a lot less people were into them, and it was my friend, mainly one guy, that got me into playing them, because I was just like, what are these games? Where do these come from? You know, because I think a lot of them originated in Germany and over in Europe, and then made their way over here.
Word. All right. What about you, Vanguard of Valor? What do you do as far as like hobbies and outside of Twitch and outside of streaming video games?
Well, the big thing that I spend a lot of my time on right now is I'm very much into Pathfinder, which is effectively D&D with slightly different rules. And I'm playing in one game, and I'm running another game, and I'm in the middle of writing a third game. So that's
like 3.5, right?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, the thing that I'm working on is writing my own campaign where I can do whatever the heck I want. Because the first campaign that I started running was one that the Pathfinder people released themselves. So I've sort of been adapting it, but it's been like working within their constraints. Whereas now I'm kind of just doing whatever I want, and it's fun. I got a crazy plot lined up, and I think it's like a really cool story, and the set pieces should be really cool. So we'll see how it winds up playing out if people actually go that way. If they wind up not, then that'll be a lot of wasted effort, but we'll see. We'll see if the players stick to the story. But yeah, I'm a big fan of that kind of role-playing game, because it's like a great storytelling and imagination medium. You can do a whole lot with it, and there's the potential for just like really interesting stories to come out, especially when people do things that are really stupid, because that's when great stories happen. When people do things that are really stupid but work.
Oh, dude, I was playing D&D, and I tamed a bear and rode it into town. Like, I don't... That's all I gotta say. But yeah, no, I had fun while I was doing it, but I just didn't have the time for it, honestly, unfortunately.
We were just like the last time I played, one of our characters decided that rather than fighting the 3 ginormous birds that they were fighting, it was instead going to cast spells at them until they all wanted to mate with each other. So they just sort of did that and ran away. Not what I was planning on having them do to solve the problem, but it worked. They made all their rolls, so I mean it happened. It was supposed to happen, but that's the point of these kinds of games.
Well then.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't even know what to say to that one.
Crazy things can happen.
Oh my god. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is all the time we got for the Q&A. Guys, we're going to wrap up, but before we go, we're going to remind everybody who you guys are, what your channel's about, what you've been doing, what you've been up to, and for the guys in chat, if you could spam some hearts and show some love for our guest, as they come up on screen. Let's see. I'm going to start with Vanguard of Valor. Can you tell us what your channel's about? What have you been doing? What have you been up to? What do you plan on doing? Why we should follow you? And the whole 9 yards.
All right. Well, I am Vanguard of Valor. Like I said at the top of the show, I do YouTube content mostly daily on a variety of games. Mostly games where they have some kind of strategic element or some way I can sort of explain what I'm doing, explain my thought process. I also stream on Twitch here 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I don't think I said that at the beginning. I think I said my dates wrong, which is dumb. But I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 3 p.m. EST to 6 p.m. EST. Mondays I do FTL, but other days I do whatever I feel like, because I do what I feel like. And I also occasionally release audiobook episodes on another channel called Vanguard Audiobooks. If you look on YouTube, you might be able to find that. I've only got 2 episodes there because I do not have time, but it's a cool project that I'm working on. It's a lot of fun. And that's basically what I'm doing. If you want me to link to my YouTube, I'll do that after, if that's okay with you, Jesse.
Sure. No, actually, if you want to go ahead and link it now, you can. Or
all right,
if you got time to link it now.
But yeah, that's basically what I do. I do YouTube, I stream, and occasionally I do audiobooks, and I have a grand old time doing it.
Word. Alright, and let's see. Next. Rip. Rip. Sorry. Let's see. Anyways, next up we got Mr. Razy. Tell us what you've been doing, what you've been up to, what do you plan on doing, and what your channel's about. Also, for those in chat, if you could do me a favor and spam some hearts, show some love for Razy, and do drop him and everybody else a follow.
I'm a variety caster. I cast 7 days a week from 8 p.m. to about 3 or 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Right now, I am in the middle of Final Fantasy's Viewer Choice. We did Final Fantasy 1 through 10. Now we're on 13. We're going to work our way through other Final Fantasy and Square games until I am done with everything that my viewers have added for me. And then we'll be doing something else. I also really enjoy like survival horror and just RPGs in general. And that's what I do. And then there's also my dog Stella, which everybody loves and is the real reason why people come to my channel, or so they say.
All right, cool. And let's see, last but not least, we got Mr. Chyado Sensei. Let's see, once again, can you tell us what you've been doing, what you've been, what you're about, and what your channel's, give us a breakdown. You heard me say it to the first 2 times. You should know the drill by the 3rd time.
Right, okay, yeah,
right?
I got this. Okay. All right, well, how's it going, students? As you know, I'm Chyado Sensei. I stream my channel, aka my class, here in Japan. I'm more of a, I guess, a variety streamer. I guess that's what they call it. But I like to stream games that are released early here in Japan. I do on-the-fly translations so that no one's left behind. I do my best to kind of teach everyone and, share my stories and tales about my life here in Japan. I have just a really good time just kind of like showing my experiences and sort of opening that gate or that border of like translation that no one can get past. I love kind of like being sort of that passport kind of person that kind of gets you guys that information or you know, just that fun little experience that you've been looking for. So I enjoy like doing that kind of stuff, and I hope to see you in the next lesson.
Word. All right, and last but not least is myself. Guys, got a couple of things here, but first, before we go, just so you know, my cast is basically, it's going to start being 25 hours a week. It's going to be 8 p.m. Central, and the Real Talk podcast is actually going to be taking a break next week. I am actually going to do something else for my birthday, and, you know, not have to worry about, you know, planning the podcast or anything like that. But a couple of things before we go. I got a couple announcements. Well, one, actually, I should probably get out of the way. Guys, if you could take 30 seconds out of your day and to follow Vanguard of Valor, Chyado Sensei, and Razy for taking their 3 hours out of their day to make this podcast possible and show them some love, some support from the community, I would be greatly appreciative. The second thing I want to say is that I'm considering doing the Real Talk one-on-one a little bit more. I'm thinking about alternating the two casts. The one-on-one will be able to help new streamers out, and basically I'll alternate them out every other week. And two, this will be able to let me plan out the Real Talk podcast a little bit more thoroughly and not just pump out quantity over quality. So with the one-on-one, if you guys could do me a favor, if you are a new streamer and wanting to be on the podcast, it's kind of an interview setup of 20 questions, / you get to ask your own questions to me, and chat gets to ask their own questions as well. And, you know, just shoot me a Twitch PM. I will look through them. Rather than do it the impromptu style we did last time. I'm going to look through the Twitch PM and see, you know, and check out your cast and be able to see what you guys are about and be able to, you know, get a little bit, see if I can find out new people and, you know, help new people and whatnot. Other than that, guys, if you guys could do me a favor, we're going to be doing a raid. We're going to be doing a raid of all hell right now. For those of you on the Zoom call, if you can do me a favor, find 3 raid victims, 1 raid victim each, I should say. And then, if those of you in chat, I see you're already doing it, but you guys could prep your raid call. Real Talk, you just got raided. Guys, thank you all for the follows. I do greatly appreciate it. You guys have been awesome tonight. You guys have been always a pleasure to do this every single Tuesday. And you guys make this my favorite day of the week, each and every one of you. And I want to thank you guys being on the Skype call or Zoom call. I'm sorry, and you know, for, you know, helping me out with the cast, and, you know, and being able to be on here today and be able to talk to you guys in person and take your time out of your day is amazing. Thank you so much. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, and if you guys could silently put in who we're gonna raid. But yeah, no, for real, thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
It was great, fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right. So just put it in the Zoom call, chat, or the Skype chat.
All of them?
Hmm.
Are we rating all the people?
No, we're gonna. I'm gonna pick one. Basically, I'm the tiebreaker.
That's okay. That's cool. Because I was like, that makes more sense.
Oh, Retro to Jay's streaming. We should do his channel.
No, that guy sounds like a jerk.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Dun, dun.
He does this podcast and, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So give me one moment. I'm gonna click on each of these links. I'm a little bit faster now because I'm turbo and I got no ads now. So it's worth.
It's a service that, like, I like because I like not seeing the ads, but you don't get a whole lot for your money.
I mean,
I think it's really good on mobile. Is what it's really worthwhile for.
See, I can't use Twitch on mobile because my phone's ancient, so there's none of the Twitch apps are supported.
yeah, I mean, my thing is I don't like to use ad block or anything like that. I mean, especially for a service I use so much and so many partner streamers I watch. Let's see. I am feeling this one. I'm about to link it in your guys' call. And if you guys could do me a favor, go ahead and get your raid calls ready. And then once you guys are ready, let me know. And then I will reveal who we're raiding to chat. For those of you in chat, I do appreciate you guys getting your raid calls ready. And if you can do me one more favor, just wait about 30 seconds to a minute after I cut the cast. Wait for me to drop my raid call, and then we're going to destroy this channel. Guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. I do appreciate you all coming in and stopping in. It's always a pleasure. And I do hope you enjoyed your time. Let's see. So let me know when you guys are ready.
Yes.
We're good on you guys's?
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. So, guys, we're gonna go over here and say hello. And I do appreciate y'all coming in, and I do hope to see you guys on the other side raiding. You guys are awesome. Good night. Everybody say bye derpily together. Bye. Nice and derpy, the way I like it.